you are not prepared for how much we hate this man.
Girl, you're mic'd up. We're gonna hear everything.
You cannot say this. Don't say this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to And Just Like Yap. I am Andi.
I'm Caroline.
Oh boy, it is time. It is time, everyone, to start Love is Blind. Season 9. We are in Denver. I can't believe we are on season 9 already. I remember watching this. Was it during the pandemic that it started?
It was COVID.
It must have been.
It was COVID.
Yeah. I feel so old and rotten since then. Oh boy. Overall thoughts, this season's messy. It's gonna be messy.
I think we really underestimated the altitude and how crazy it's making the people in Denver. We've encountered a group of just, like, I don't know how they all ended up in this place.
I really don't either. Something about that cursed horse statue at the airport.
I know. The burial ground underneath the Denver International Airport. They all looked in the eye of the Mustang as they drove up.
Episode 1 kicks us off with this crazy montage of these classic gold goblets floating in the water.
Every season is the most dramatic season ever, but It feels like almost, wait, am I about to watch someone get murdered the way that they're like trying to jump ahead with this editing? It was fascinating.
We do see in the montage that Joe, who we later learn is Joe, seemingly ends up ditching his wedding. So we've got that to look forward to. But jumping right in, we have Nick and Vanessa asking everybody why they're on the show. My first thought here is always like, God, how long does it take to go around the whole room with everybody sharing why they're on the show?
I know.
But Edmmond really captured my attention because he talks about growing up in foster homes. This is one of the more like serious topics we have seen on the show coming from a cast member, one of the singles. And then of course, I don't know what trip to Canyon Ranch Vanessa got all these
I said, what self-help book is she getting all of these from? Like, it was just, I was like, in between seasons, she was like, well, I've got to re-up my inspirational things to say on Love is Blind.
And we also hear from Madison, the other like really interesting, more serious thing happening with one of the singles is that Madison has retinitis pigmentosa, which is a degenerative illness. So she could lose more of her vision and potentially go blind. So this experiment is much more serious for her. This made me so nervous. I was like, whenever we have people coming in who are like this earnest and like have this much to lose, I'm like, oh, the odds of you getting dogged rather than finding the love of your life are so much higher.
Totally. Yeah. It's just like, she's just so sweet and very sincere. And it's, I know, I want you to run in the opposite direction as quickly as possible.
I do. I know. Lauren and Cameron really set the bar way too high. Like everyone thinks that they're going to find the Cameron to their Lauren and vice versa. And if you look at the actual hard data, not likely.
No. And they got so lucky that they found them in season 1 like that. Like, it was just so shocking that worked and is still working.
And then we get introduced to Patrick, who I really just love overall. I actually really like Patrick. He is talking about how his major insecurity in the past was being an Asian American man dating in Denver, which is
valid.
Yeah, Patrick's a little sweetie, and I'm excited to see more from him, which we immediately do because he is on a date with Anna. And Anna and Patrick have a really interesting conversation about interracial dating because as they talk, it becomes obvious to both of them that like they do have certain things in common. They're trying really hard not to reveal what they might look like to the other person. And this to me was just like modern day Shakespeare.
Totally.
Like they're on opposite sides of the wall. They don't know how similar they are, but like just through talking to each other, they can sort of see like maybe they like understand quite a lot about each other's experiences. Yeah. They have the like Spider-Man meme moment where they realize that like maybe they like really understand each other. And I just thought this was so sweet and cute right from the top.
Yeah, it was such an interesting conversation to hear this like internalized judgment and fear they have of dating someone that has been like themselves previously and like what that means as like being Asian just generally across, without even getting into being Chinese, Korean, etc., like knowing that like I tend to seek externally like when I'm dating, and that's just like, it's just very like honest, like brave thing to talk about, because I can't imagine that that's like the thing you don't want to say out loud.
Yeah. It's a really tough topic. And I also immediately was like, oh, everyone is going to be down bad for Anna, because she's
cool.
She's cool. She's objectively cool, and like one of the more, I've watched all 9 seasons of this garbage. She is one of the most like genuine, earnest, funny, smart, like she's got everything going for her. Like she's also gorgeous, obviously, but like she just has one of the best personalities I have seen on this show, and I was like, everyone's gonna fall in love with her
for sure. I'll also say this is a general thing for anyone who owns a hair salon on these shows, because Anna, she owns a hair salon. They all have the same hairstyle. It is like it's like the Utah mom long wavy curl. If they have that hairstyle, they own a hair salon. Like I can show you on this Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Jesse has the same hair. Like it is pretty across the board. You will see another person from the season who also owns a salon. Telltale signs.
And then we have Blake and Anna. I really appreciate that this show has never shied away from talking about people's personal values, like regarding bigotry. This was a big factor. I can't remember what season, but like these things do come up. I mean, you're trying to find someone to marry, so you do need to know if they're like inhumane piece of shit. Yeah, but Blake really seemed like an absolute sweetie, but also like maybe wants to date his grandma, question mark.
Totally. Yeah, he just seemed like a very like nice guy, and I was like, okay, I like Blake. Like I don't see anything immediately wrong with him.
And then we have Sparkle Megan, who my initial thought, I will be honest with you, I thought like working for an oil and gas company is to me one of the more evil things you can do in this world. So I judged her pretty harshly when she first appeared. I also realized that the reason she is telling people that she gets called Sparkle Megan by her friends is because she wants to identify herself as Sparkle Megan in the pods, because that's what they keep calling her, because there's more than one Megan in the pods.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that to me felt a little bit diabolical. Yeah, I'm Megan. She's Sparkle Megan. Like,
okay.
I don't know. It's kind of like saying like, oh, I'm Andy, and this is like better Andy.
Here's what I'll say though. This speaks to like how she is in business. So I was like, oh, she knows how to market herself. She knows how to like pivot herself. I was like, she knows what she's doing. And I was like, I do respect that, because you have to think about like, you're not seeing each other. How do I make myself distinguish from another Megan?
Yeah, so Sparkle Megan kind of thought she was a little bit boring. Oh boy. And then we get one of the worst people of this season. Hate this man so much. Hated him initially, only grew to hate him more. Mike. Okay.
Sexy Mike, as he called himself.
Oh my God. The two of them are talking, and it very much feels like rich people who are attracted to each other because they're both rich. He's in like property investment or some shit, who cares?
He says, I buy a property a year.
I can't. And you know nobody gets to live in them.
No, here's my thing. He's what's ruining the housing crisis, because I bet he has like 30 Airbnbs that he doesn't maintain. You go in, they're all millennial gray and white. There's maybe a sheet to name in each of them. And then you're expected to do all of the cleaning when you're done, and it's like $500 a night.
Oh, you know there's complaints on his, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like half of his Verbos have bed bugs. Like he's a slumlord. But he finds out that like Megan is trying to break into the health and wellness industry by starting her own tech-led wellness spa or whatever. And he immediately is like, oh, hell yeah. Do you get into like biohacking and longevity stuff? I hate this man. This is like Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson garbage. Like, know this man was on the carnivore diet for a while, and despite it giving him violent diarrhea, he was like, I feel amazing.
I know. It's like Ick City, USA. Like, there is nothing, there is no redeeming quality about this man. Definitely, and this is like a harsh comment to make, I feel like he's definitely given 3 to 4 girls like eating disorders based off of comments he's made about their bodies.
Yeah, we are going to get into that 1,000%. This man needs to be stopped at all costs. And then we meet Jordan. Okay, I wrote down, fuck, I unexpectedly kind of love him.
I know.
kind of amazing, and I kind of have a crush on him, and he's giving me a little bit like Jess Mariano from Gilmore Girls vibes.
Yeah. Very like sarcastic, and just the banter is good. Like the banter is very good with him. He's very smart. He's very funny, emotionally intelligent, compassionate. Really was caught off guard by how much I like this man. I really...
Same. But he is a single father. He has a 5-year-old son.
Luca!
We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, initially we were ready to roast this man, and then he showed up unroastable. Good for you, Jordan.
This was also when he reveals that he has a vasectomy, which I was like, fascinating. So he has a kid and then got a vasectomy. I lean in. I want to know more about Jordan with like every detail he gives us. Cause I was like, you are just like a complex human. And I was like, the fact that he's like, oh, I'm going to get a vasectomy. Cause there's so many men out there that are aware, and objectively, they say it is much easier and less painful for a man to get a vasectomy than all the hormones that women have to inject in our bodies, or tiny robots, as someone who's had 3 IUDs. And they don't give you any painkiller. They tell you to take 600 milligrams of ibuprofen and pray for your life that you survive.
And it is like some of the most intense pain I have ever felt in my life was getting my IUD placed. It was pain in a part of my body that I had never experienced that much pain.
It's like what I expect, like Moby Dick experience with like a harpoon going inside the most inner parts of my body.
Allie, I've never seen someone be so beautiful.
Allie is like, she would have been on Rock of Love in like 2003.
That's so funny. She seems really, really sweet, and she also just looks like a straight up Bratz doll, and I mean that as a very high compliment. Like, I actually can't believe a person can look like this. Like, she's gorgeous. Yeah, and she seems nice. She's talking about how like nobody's really matched her ambition and drive. She's a nurse. I mean, being a nurse is not for the faint of heart. And we meet Anton while he's on a date with Allie. He says normally he goes by Tony. Everything about Anton's vibe makes me initially nervous. His intensity seems a little manufactured to me, but he does seem like a pretty strong individual who's like kind of self-made. He's originally from Russia, had to learn English. So
I know, he felt like to me like a third cousin on The Sopranos. Like, he's like Christopher's like second cousin that they never invite to anything because they're like, oh, Tony messes it up every time. You can't invite Tony to this. What are you doing, Christopher? That was like the vibe that I felt like I got from him, just like looks wise, like very, but also I could see the two of them matching each other's freak. They kind of reminded me of, do you remember when Carmen Electra and Dave Navarro were together?
Yes, I do.
That's like the vibe I feel like I have here.
Yeah, or like maybe a little bit like, which one of the Kardashians dated Travis Barker?
Oh, they're still married? Courtney.
They're still married?
Yeah, they had their child, Rocky. Oh, yeah, no, those two. No, I had to quit watching the Kardashians because they were openly, like, having sex on camera too much for me to, like, I was like, I actually, like, I love that you love each other, but also, like, this is, we get it. Like, I get it. Like, there was a scene where they were, like, talking about IVF where they had to get the camera crew out of the room so they could have sex, like, in the doctor's office while...
What part of IVF involves having sex in the doctor's office?
I think because, like, he has to get the boner so that he can...
Oh, boy.
Anyways, I digress.
Then we meet Edmmond. Okay, and right off the bat, we're trying to, let's remember, we're putting this in the context of, like, we're just watching this through the first time. We've both already watched all 6 episodes, so we do know what happens. But focusing on Edmmond, in this moment, he is bouncing off the walls. Very, very genuine, very, very open book, and, like, huge heart, like, just ready to love and find his person. And he is sparking with Calabria, who I am obsessed with. We already really liked Calabria when we met her in like the intro trailer. She's a social worker, which, as I've said, is like one of the more moral high ground jobs we actually have on this show. Just all around amazing and like deserves the world.
He's gonna be obsessed with her, and she's just like very cool and like fashionable and like hot as hell. Where we're at right now, I'm very into them.
Yes, absolutely. They bond very, very quickly because he's talking about his story and his upbringing, like being in various foster homes and how hard that was for him. And he starts crying and he feels kind of embarrassed about it. And she has like the perfect response and is like, "You're more of a man if you cry. Like, I like that you're emotional." And like, they just like, they break really intense ground with each other very, very quickly. Okay, this guy, don't like him.
Why weren't you dating for 5 years? I need more, like, that's a long
Well,
time.
he said he was in a relationship for 5 years. That's why he wasn't dating, which is why I think he gets drunk and calls his ex crying.
For sure.
And Joe starts dating Madison, who says her go-to karaoke song is Fergalicious, which is like honestly amazing.
That's very endearing.
She seems really fun and bubbly. She talks about like on her perfect date, like going to 7-Eleven for a snack, which woman after my own heart.
I know.
The banter between her and Joe, so generic and so boring, and like,
I know.
Madison seems cool. Joe, I'm nervous about. Oh boy, this plot line, these two connect so fast. I know like they're probably speeding it up. We don't see the whole thing.
Yeah.
But like Allie's voice is like a song that sings to me. Being in these pods fucks people up for real. Like you're without your phone, you're without screens.
It's very Phantom.
Yeah.
Christine, sing to me.
In the pod she sings to me while drinking from a goblet.
And then I'll propose to her. Her face I'll see.
And in this pod here where love is blind.
Love Bomb City. It's just like with him. It's like, it's very intense, very fast.
Allie loves Anton. She seems very genuine. And like, they get engaged. We are 43 minutes into episode 1. Again, it's editing because like this probably took, several days, but like it's really, really shocking because they show us very, very little, which leads me to believe either that there were red flags that we're just not seeing because they're waiting for those to come up later, or these two just like really hit it off and it was pretty boring and there was like nothing to show because there was no drama.
Or because there's so much drama with the other ones, it's like, well, this one was fine. We can trim them down because we need to make space.
I wanted to take a moment because, in my opinion, on this show, on Married at First Sight, any show like this, the female friendships are the true love story of any season of any reality dating show. Yeah. And I just love how much these women love each other because they're also just meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
Jordan gets pictures of Luca and he starts crying. And he, to me, honestly, he's like a Hallmark Channel significant other. And I mean that in a positive way. He's like the single father Hallmark love interest. So Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan, they're dating, and they are bonding over the fact that Luca, Jordan's son, has type 1 diabetes, and Megan's father, who passed away not long ago, also had type 1 diabetes. Here is where I will say, for anyone watching, type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease that you are born with.
Correct.
Let's just put that out there. It's going to be relevant later. But they have this very intense connection because of that, because it's very difficult to care for somebody who has type 1 diabetes. It's difficult to have type 1 diabetes. I still, at this point, felt like these two don't make sense together. But I also was like, maybe I'm wrong because, like, I might have judged Sparkle Megan a little too harshly. But she does actually seem pretty genuine. You can tell in the show when people are not being genuine when they're putting on an act. And she actually seems to be, like, fully being herself and saying what she means, which I do appreciate.
Yeah, I think this is where maybe was like, oh, she would be a good stepmom. Like, I just, like, had this, like, I don't know, immediately got that vibe. I was like, okay, Sparkle Megan. I could see her being like co-parenting well. I don't know. There was a shift that kind of happened with me in this conversation.
I agree with that. She's like a Glinda meets Meredith Blake.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And then she's also, of course, still dating this piece of shit who says he's in A national men's tribe? What in the fuck are you talking about? He's like, it has pillars. He's like, it's real because it has pillars. No, this, if I was already turned off, I was completely turned off. Can't believe we're getting an episode 1 engagement. I took the screenshot because I was like, Anton cannot see without his glasses.
Thomas J can't see without his glasses.
It also reminded me of like anytime Ariana Grande is on Jimmy Fallon and she's like trying to play one of the games, but she can't read like whatever's on the teleprompter. But then we roll right into episode 2 where they do meet each other. And I have to say, this actually seemed very sweet and genuine. They do seem pretty natural together. I watch these reveals with the intensity of someone doing surgery. Like I am so trying to figure out if like anything, like I'm trying to read their faces and see like, are they attracted to each other? And at this moment, it actually seemed like they were genuinely like pretty into genuine. It. And he was like, in his interview, was like, she's fucking stunning. I'm like, yeah, dude, you think? And then I love, Allie says, your pupils are huge right now. You do love me. Spoken like a woman in STEM. That is a nurse.
I know.
That is a nurse. The only things I didn't love about this, he says, they're talking about whether they were nervous about what the other person looked like. And he says, you could have been twice the size and I would have been fine. And I'm like, first of all, she's 75 pounds soaking wet. I know. So like twice the size would still be the size of a small person. Also, weird thing to say. Don't say that. Yeah. And then I don't know if this is editing, but they put this in for a reason, I'm assuming. She is like down the long reveal hallway, like looking at him, like gazing at him lovingly. And he still in view is pouring himself a drink immediately. Like, why is he not looking back at her? Why is he heading for the alcohol so immediately? Again, could be editing, could be nothing.
Yeah, right.
But it does seem a little bit weird.
I laughed more at the, like, after he made the comment about the twice the size, that she, like, burped or something. That was, like, And I was just like, okay, I ride with this girl. I think it's a lot of, like, there are things on this show, like, that I yell. I'm like, these are inside thoughts, everyone. These are inside thoughts. You're being filmed. I want to remind you, you're being filmed.
Oh, boy. I mean, again,
that'll come up more. But
yes, it sure will. We're heading back to Madison and Joe. At this point, I was like, Joe, do you just need a place to live? Like, is this why you're on the show?
I know.
Because he was like, my lease is going to be up soon. And then Madison is like, okay, we're like talking about maybe moving in together. Now's the time to talk about it. And so she talks about her retinitis pigmentosa, talks about how her vision might decline more. I have to say, I did not love Joe's response to this. I know that it's a lot to hear from somebody that you're already like connecting with, but his immediate reaction was like, is it curable? Is it definitely going to get worse? He had a lot of questions, which are totally valid questions, but I don't know. I was looking at his face and I was like, I don't know.
He's like a man I wouldn't trust to call 911. Like, he wouldn't get the number right. Like, I don't know. That is a man that I want at my doctor's appointments. That's not a man that I want in any, like, he probably would put the eye drops, like, in the wrong, in the wrong amount. I don't think this man is like kept a goldfish alive. Like, I would not trust this man with my health.
Had to take this screenshot. This fucking guy. If you thought we hated Mike and you think we don't like Joe, get fucking ready. Get ready. You are not prepared for how much we hate this man.
The amount of screenshots I have of Nick coming up are like, it's like a separate podcast.
When asked in interviews what his pickup line is, starts quoting Cartoon Network's Johnny Bravo, which is, oh God, that gave me such an intense ick. That combined with this like weird military sport clips haircut, like I just
immediately, this man is trying to prove his masculinity in a way that I feel like he is not addressing some things that maybe we need to look at our insides at a little bit more.
There's a little montage in here as we're meeting Nick where a bunch of girls are talking about him and they can sense that he's fake. Like, they know. Now, Nick is dating Kate, And initially, we were a little too quick to judge Kate because she seemed like she was going to be a mess based on her like initial introductory interview. But I really, really love her. And she reveals that her ex of 8 years cheated on her while she was grieving the loss of her mother. And the fact that this woman did not then murder that man, I think she might be the strongest woman alive.
I think every jury would be on her side. Not guilty, not guilty across the board.
The one thing I got upset with, though, here, she was like, yeah, I ignored a lot of red flags with my previous boyfriend, which is why I like Nick. And I was like, oh, no.
I know.
Girl! Okay, Nick is also dating Annie, who is giving me, from the Mean Girls musical, I can be who I want to be, and sexy. Because she immediately, you want to come up behind me while I'm doing dishes? Sexy. You want to order us takeout? Sexy. You want to scrub the toilet? Sexy. Annie is also dating Brendan, who honestly genuinely seems like a nice guy. Annie seemed a little bit drunk on this date, side note, which is another factor we do need to take into account here. Not only are they like, this is like, it's like some cult shit. Like they isolate people from like their families, their regular lives, take away their devices, and then just get them super drunk. So that does factor into the decisions that they make. Edmmond kissing the floor. I mean, this man is just like an absolute goof. Do not be kissing the floor of this Netflix model home. Like it's not clean.
And in the men's quarters, nonetheless.
Yeah. He goes on a date with Calabria again, and Calabria shares that she has a very bad relationship with her dad, and it's really hard for her to talk about. And the two of them just, like, really get on the same wavelength. He's so supportive, and, like, she knows that she's a strong woman, and she's looking for, like, a man who can, like, finally let her be, like, softer and not have to be so strong all the time. And, like, Edmmond really delivers in the pods. And like this image of him like looking to like the heavens of this studio and saying her name over again, another like very Shakespearean moment to me.
And I love that like in his like fashion style, I just love that there's like personality to it. Like it's not just like it's like lots of color and patterns. And I was like, oh, I'm intrigued by you because you're actually have a personality.
Yes, and seems comfortable in himself. Like, he knows he's a goof and, like, leans into it, which that's very attractive. Oh, Jordan. Looking like the frontman of an early aughts pop punk band is really doing it for me, and I can't.
The Jordan crush is, like, very strong.
I know. Yeah, hot for Jordan.
Warped Tour, baby.
Also, like, this is, like, a pretty funny joke. Like, let me see that fishing license, miss. Like, I was like, oh, man. If I were flirting with this guy at a bar, I'd be like, fuck, I kind of want to make out with him.
I know, like, how is this man not, like, sweeping up in the pods? Like, maybe they were just like, I don't want to deal with, like, a kid or something, but I was like...
I think that's what it is. I mean... We never get to see, like, the other connections that these people have. We usually hear about that, like, after the reunion. A lot of these people are, like, coming in here to find the person that they want to have kids with. And so it's stupid that they judge him for it. But, like, I think a lot of these people are like, no, he already has a kid. Like, I don't. Again, this is what makes me like Sparkle Megan a little bit more because that isn't important to her. The thing that makes me not like her, though, is that she still has Mike in the mix.
Which I think she talks about it. It's like he's like the other guy she dated before. And I totally get that where it's like you objectively know this type isn't like good for you anymore, but like it's what you know.
And it's the devil you know. Like you've already dealt with those problems, so you know how to approach them. Blake seems nice, but the two of them seem really boring together. Her being like a main hub of connections
was wild.
Surprised me quite a bit. But again, like, she's clearly smart, and, like, she does actually seem pretty genuine. Anna and Blake, very cute together. Blake is an absolute dork, but, like, honestly, like, I really do like him. Like, I see the appeal of him. The following slide I will present without comment of Anna saying that she does not ghost people that she's been on several dates with. We will discuss that in a moment. Casey is like a walking male fantasy. She looks like Sydney Sweeney. Like, she looks like a male fantasy. Here she is, like, playing basketball. In her initial interview, she was like, I beat all the guys at fantasy football. I'm the comedian of my friend group. Like, she just...
Oh, for sure. It's the cool girl monologue in Gone Girl.
Yes.
Like, it is like,
yes.
It's that, like, 100%, like, as a person personified of, like, oh, yeah, oh, I do that, but look at me, I'm so effortlessly, like, very hot and, like, very traditionally so. Like, I'm blonde. She's blue-eyed, I think. Like, just very, like, everything, like, all-American. That's the stereotypical, when you close your eyes, think of a hot girl, that's Casey.
Oh my God, that monologue from Gone Girl makes me feel like I could run through a wall.
Oh,
like, ooh.
If there's anything you're like feeling down, just like do a little tippy tappy, type in the cool girl monologue, and it'll make you feel just like alive.
Anyway, Patrick, he's so nervous to finally like reveal that he's Asian American to Casey because she asked, and he's like flipping nervously through his notes and is like, let me think about this. I'm not sure I want to do this. And it just makes you feel so sad because you can tell that he's like traumatized from experiences he's had.
Totally.
In this conversation that he and Casey are having, I feel like Casey, she doesn't outwardly say this, but I feel like she's kind of inferring that like she can understand why Patrick feels put in a box by his ethnicity because she's put in a box because of how hot she is. And like, I'm sorry, I just can't.
No.
I can't. They could be cute together, though. Like, they are vibing. I don't know.
And I think also it was a shock to me because I feel like from previous Love is Blind seasons, we've not really openly discussed ethnicity like this. So it was like very shocking to have that. I was like, are we actually talking about this? Because like I think that's like part of the thing is you don't talk about it, but I don't know. It was interesting to how it came up and how it was sort of handled.
And then we go back to Patrick and Anna, who I am obsessed with and like want them to be together so badly because they're just vibing so hard and they like understand each other on like a deep, deep level. And Anna talking about how her relationship with her mom is complicated. Like, oh, girl. And she's talking about how it's been hard for her to be on the show because she has immigrant parents who like really don't understand the circumstances of her being gone because she like acts as kind of like their translator to the world and they don't get the logistics of like being on a reality TV show and having your phone taken away. Like, I get it. Like, why would you understand that? That's a very weird, specific thing. But Patrick is totally understanding. And he says to her, I think I might be your person.
I know. I think I was just like, oh my God, I want them to like open themselves up to each other. It's like, I think you have closed yourself off from these experiences before. And I think you could just really understand each other on a level that maybe no one else ever has before.
They've talked about how like they typically only go for white people in the past, but then they have this moment where they reveal to each other like where they're actually from. And she reveals that she's Chinese. And Patrick is like, I replayed this moment so many times because he like, that is coming from his soul. He is like, that is so hot. He has like such a visceral reaction to it. He has to like hide his face. Like he's getting red. Like, I don't know. Like you're watching these two people realize that like for the first time, they might actually be ready to like let somebody in who has like a very similar experience to them. And like, not only is it like emotionally connecting, like he also like has a total boner for it. It's like so good.
I know.
Yeah, I was rooting for them so hard at this point.
Same.
Madison and Joe get engaged. I kind of like, who cares? Like, I do not think that Joe is over his ex. I don't have like specific examples to cite here, but like there's I don't know, a lot of the ways that he talks, I'm like, again, every time you get drunk, you call your ex crying. The only thing keeping you from that is they took your phone.
I could have a prediction for like his mother is like, it's Joe, it's time for you to get married. You need to settle down. Like, and it's like, okay, mom, and I'm gonna do it. And then it's like, ay.
I also think he might not be on the show for the right reasons. And the reason I say this is because I did some Instagram research and he has a podcast that seemingly started like about a year ago. And it's a podcast discussing a lot of things about like love and sex and relationships.
Who's listening to that?
Could be a separate thing, could not be related, but the fact that I don't know, it makes me question his reasons for being on the show.
Sure.
I had to take this screenshot because Patrick, on one of his dates with Anna, is talking about what he pictures, and he says, a girl wearing the most prettiest dress in the world, which he sounds like a little boy, but it's like so sweet. But then, unfortunately, his next date with Anna, she is nowhere to be found. Poor guy. This just made me really sad. Yeah, so he's even asking the producers at the top of the next episode, like, do you guys know where she is? Like, what are you not telling me? Like, what's going on? And he also says that he definitely was falling in love with her. And it just, this really broke my heart because, like, I was down bad for the two of them as a couple.
Same.
Blake finds out that Anna went home, and what did I say? I said everyone would be so down bad for Anna. I knew it. I knew it. And Anna did say that she doesn't ghost, but I did like look this up because she's been doing some interviews now, present day, about why she left, and she just talks about how she was just really emotionally overwhelmed, like not being there for her parents. She wasn't convinced that they like totally knew like where she was or what she was doing. So she had this undercurrent of just being really worried about them the whole time, and that combined with everything else, she just like couldn't stand it anymore and left. She did say that she didn't feel like at the time her connections in the pod could have led to marriage, which I wonder about because based on watching it doesn't seem that way. But yeah, so Blake finds this out. He's clearly bummed. We go back to the worst person on planet Earth, and this is one of the worst conversations I have had to witness on this show. Okay, whenever men talk about things like exercise or like being healthy with food on this show, it is pretty clear as a viewer that they are trying to suss out whether or not the woman on the other side is thin and fit.
Correct.
Like, it's just so obvious. Like, I hate saying this, but it's just so obvious.
It's true.
And then this conversation leads to... This man does not know the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes, which is a very important distinction.
Correct.
Also, nobody should be shamed for having any diabetes.
Correct.
But he talks about how, like, there's another guy in here who has a son with diabetes, and, like, I just think that's fucked up because, like, my friend had pre-diabetes and he just changed his diet and now he's fine. I cannot imagine what it is like to be Sparkle Megan on the other side of this and hearing this and knowing that he's, like, so blatantly stupid and incorrect about what type 1 diabetes is.
Totally. And I think it was also because I can't remember if it was like right before this where he starts to suss out that Jordan is his competition, and this is
it's around this time.
Yeah, and it's like when you start to see him, which I don't think we've seen anyone really do this like blatantly, where they start trying to dog on the other person and like actively like bring up things to create questions in Sparkle Megan's mind. So it's just like very interesting and diabolical.
It is. And I honestly can't believe that she kept talking to him after this because it is such a deep misunderstanding of what her father went through and what Jordan's son is going through. And also very fat phobic and fat shamey. I mean, maybe she doesn't care about that, but like speaking as myself. And then by contrast, we immediately get her date with Jordan where he's just talking about how he tells his son all the time that he loves him. Honestly, it's a shame that so many women probably wrote him off because of him having a kid, because it actually seems like this man's emotional growth and maturity is directly related to him being a single father. Like his heart is open and he's able to care for somebody in a way that the rest of these fucking assholes can't.
Totally. And I think it was also interesting. I think this maybe have been on the early, when they like talked about the vasectomy, Megan wasn't immediately turned off by that. She was like, well, I could be open to just being a stepmom. And I thought, I don't know. I just think everything about like how they're like very open with each other. It's just like very refreshing to see on this type of show where it's like, toxic 100 sludge waste. These men came out of like the waste of like a nuclear plant that's like 20 miles outside of Denver.
But this date like makes Sparkle Megan kind of overwhelmed. She's surprised at like the feelings that she's developing for him. And then we find out that Blake chose to leave. So clearly like he was down bad for Anna and didn't necessarily like want to pursue anything with anybody else. We don't know if it's strictly because Anna left, but like we can assume because
2 and 2 together.
I really wish we got to see any of Kaylin because she seems really fun. Kaylin's talking to Sparkle Meg right after Blake leaves, and she's like, you dodged a bullet. And I was just like, you seem fun. I wish we got to.
She was the one that I said immediately. I was like, we're not going to see her.
I know. And I knew it too, but she does seem cool and fun.
Yeah, I like her vibe.
Okay, now we get to Sparkle Meg is starting to realize that she's caught real feelings for Jordan. And she is talking about how like maybe like spiritually this is her dad, her deceased father's way of like finding her someone who's a good fit, maybe like very, very different than guys she's dated. And this is where I think we need to discuss like we've been texting about this, but there's a heavy amount of parental loss on this season.
Yeah.
There's stuff that happens between people that either feels like, oh my God, this is like a deep, deep spiritual connection. And it kind of toes the line between like, maybe yes, and maybe it's a little bit like magical thinking because you're in like a very elevated emotional circumstance. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like I do think that she and Jordan clearly have an amazing connection that is partially related to the fact that they both have such experience with this disease. But I also think these kinds of things happen and they sort of lead you down a road where like, I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe it is you guys have a true connection. Maybe like this does have spiritually something to do with your dad, but it could be a little bit of magical thinking. And it's like,
it's hard to know. And I think but I do think I appreciate her leaning into that because it's opening her up to a person that it sounds like she says repeatedly. She's like, Jordan is not, and because I think about at this point also was when she was going to end things with Jordan. She before Blake left, she was like, I think I'm going to end it with this connection, and then Blake leaves, and it's kind of like everything worked out as it should because Jordan, like they got to have this conversation that I think showed this other side to Jordan that I think Megan realized like, oh, I can have this like very deep, meaningful connection that is not possible with Mike. Mike is all numbers and body fat percentage, and like.
Okay, Joe and Madison meet. I was watching this reveal like a hawk, and I knew immediately that for some fucking reason, Joe did not like the way Madison looked, which is bonkers because she's gorgeous. And he then, in his interview, is like, he says, when I say Madison, that's now connected to that. And then corrects himself and says to her, this man is slime. This man is absolute slime. I'm very worried about Madison at this point because again, what I've been saying this whole time, I think he's been picturing his ex while talking to Madison. And then when Madison walked up and it wasn't his ex, he was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, Madison needs to run from this man.
Run for the hills.
Annie and Brendan, they're cute, but like they don't talk about anything of actual substance, and I find them kind of boring. And then... Nick, more like ick. This whole outfit, like, he's not funny.
No, he's not. This man is like the male equivalent of a pick-me. He just wants to be accepted for his masculinity so badly. Like, it is, that insecurity is vibrating through the screen on like a deep level that it's like, this man wants to be seen as a man. And it's like, and you could tell this has been an issue his entire life. And it's just terrible. I will say also, and I have a screenshot, I think, from my episodes in a minute, the amount of people wearing shoes on the couch is driving me insane. Take the shoes off. Take them off. It is the dirt they're tracking like on I like am having a visceral reaction every time I see the shoes.
Other people have to use these pods. I hope they're vacuuming the couches. They really should be. Nick goes immediately from his date to Annie to telling Kate that he loves her, which feels very sudden and kind of out of place. And you can kind of tell that like Kate is excited about it, but also is like, she's sitting there eating like her Ritz bits. Like she was not expecting this.
No. And I'll say what's interesting about Kate and Annie, like, and obviously like they don't know, but like they look very similar. Like
they do, yeah.
Which is like kind of shocking that it ended up being like he has like these two women that look that similar.
Also, like he's doing the thing that a lot of men do on this show, and it never ever works. And it is keep two women in the running and, you know, make them feel like you're very, very serious about both of them.
Correct.
He seems to have sussed out that like the two of them don't know that he's dating both of them. Keeping two women on the hook this long never, ever works in this show, because even if it works at the beginning, they're going to watch the show and they're going to see what you did. Or when they all meet, they're like, it doesn't work. Like people are going to reveal the fact that you said the same shit to both of these women.
This will also happen in real life too, not just in the pods.
Yes. Advice that you didn't ask for, but you definitely need. Edmmond is just he's like rocketing himself to the sky.
He's like a human rubber band. He reminds me of like the real life version of is it Skyline in Goofy movie? You know, like eye to eye, like that.
You mean Powerline?
Powerline. Sorry.
It's fine. I won't hold it against you.
I know.
Yes, no, absolutely. He is just bouncing off the walls. KB reads this really emotional letter that she wrote about like how Edmmond is like so ready to love her despite like
it's very sweet.
All of the struggle. It's a very, very sweet letter. The two of them are just so sweet together. They get engaged. I love when you can tell how much like the people in the men's or women's quarters, like how much that person is liked based on how they're celebrated when they come back in. Yeah. This will come up later. Edmmond is just like on cloud 9, or rather he says cloud 12. I just had to take this screenshot of Patrick. Poor Pat, he's been through it. Like Anna has gone home. He's not sure what to do. Oh, poor Pat. And he then goes into his date with Casey, and Patrick seems very determined. He's clearly had a lot of shitty relationship experiences in the past, and he really, really, really wanted this experiment to work out for him. Yeah. So now he's seeing like if there's anything there with Casey. He doesn't fully trust her, and Casey kind of opens up more that like a lot of men have taken advantage of her because like of how she looks. I do not doubt that. They could be kind of cute together. At this point, I'm like, maybe.
I know. Also, I'm realizing I've been trying to put my finger on who she reminded me of. She reminds me of Kristen Cavallari on Laguna Beach. And who is like very similar, like always been the hot girl, and men have always like moth to a flame like her, a very cool girl like that. It's very similar like sort of aesthetic, and also just general how people react towards her.
Then Patrick finds out that Blake was dating Anna, which is potentially not significant, but you know, they did both leave. So like that might make him feel some type of way. And then Mike is being a Dorinda meddler. And he does his little, like, I'm in a love triangle. He and Megan have these conversations about, like, they can be, like, a power couple and also have traditional gender roles. And, like, all of it just icks me out. Like, I want better for Megan. Like, this is not. Edmmond and Calabria are getting ready for their reveal. And Edmund's like, make sure a medic is near, which is so funny. I mean, I agreed. I was like, I might need a medic for like when these two meet. But then they're about to meet. Few and far between moments where they actually sprung for the rights to real music. And it's a weird choice. It's Katy Perry's Dark Horse, and it's leading me to believe that something ominous is going to go on with these two.
I know.
And that is where episode 3 ends.
All right, so we are now going immediately and rolling into 4 from the end of episode 3. Calabria and Edmond's proposal. It is just the most joyful, like, 8-year-old. He is so excited, like, bouncing off the walls to see just how beautiful she is in person. I loved that subconsciously they somehow color coordinated. I, like, had to show that. It was really cute. I was like, okay, I felt very optimistic. I was like, great. We're color coordinating subconsciously, like everything's gonna go well. They were so emotional with each other. I love how openly like Edmmond cries, like, and it's very just like sweet and sensitive. And our boy, he's so emotional he cries. Gotta cry with a boner.
This sent me to outer space.
I know. Like, it really says everything about him. I was like, oh God, this boy, his puberty must have been a minefield. Like, I can't imagine Edmond as like a 14-year-old. But he was so confused and emotional about with like whatever his penis was doing. And I love that he's so turned on and emotional at the same time.
I know. And I just love how open he is. Like, he will say whatever he is thinking.
Totally. There's no filter with Edmond. Like, it's very like, what you see is like exactly what you get from what we can see at this moment. And Calabria like clocks immediately. She's like, you're like running with your knees. She just like sees this energy that like you don't get through the pods. And it's like, oh, okay, I have a very hyperactive man in front of me.
Yeah, she didn't see him like jumping and running and kissing the floor. Like, no. She could probably feel it, but like, it's different when you can see it.
That's a different energy when it's like in front of you and you're like, okay, all right, that's like a whole other energy. Because that's a big like energy balance you have to have someone who's like on the other end of the spectrum and like much more reserved. It's like to like meet in the middle. And we see that he's written Calabria this really lovely note.
I loved it. I loved all of it. They had one of the most genuine reveals.
Yes.
Like, they really seemed to, like each other, be attracted to each other, happy to see each other. And, like, while she was reading this note, she kept being like, oh my God, he's so cute. Like, it seemed really positive and good.
And she was like, we're going to frame this in our house. Like, it was just like, I loved all the potential we were seeing. I was like, okay, this is like actually a genuine couple that we can root for at this point.
Yes.
Okay, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. We are back to Nathan Fielder character headquarters, Nick.
And so true. It's so true.
Especially when he's talking to the guys, that's more so when I feel is like Nathan Fielder has infiltrated Love is Blind. At this point, he's like, Kate is my number one. He's unsure about Annie. He's allegedly sure about. And we start down this path where he asks if Kate is religious. Maybe this is Nick. He's like saying, I consider myself a personal, quiet relationship with God.
Yeah, he says that. And
then Kate talks about her mom's death and how she had all these tumors and how could there be a God who would let this happen, you know? And I was like, honestly, I was like, this, I've never related to anyone more because it's like, this has been my own sort of relationship, I think, with spirituality and religion since losing my mom, like in a very like sudden way. Cause it is like, it makes you like really question everything that you've been raised. Yeah. Cause you're like, how could there be a God when like someone is lost like so traumatically, so quickly as it sounds like with her mom? It really like messes with your sense of self and like what you think the universe has around you. So I was just really, I don't know, I really appreciated like her thoughts around this. And I thought it was just really like, I don't know, it was very honest to hear her talk like this.
Absolutely. And I appreciated that she was like, and you could say like it made me strong and whatever, but like that's I really appreciated that she addressed that because I think a lot of people try to make people feel better about their grief of like, well, now you're such a strong person. And it's like, it was still a horrible thing. Like I didn't ask to be this strong.
Not at all.
Yeah. So yeah, I appreciated this as well.
Cause it's like, I had like a lot of people tell me that like, they'll be like, oh, you'll see them again someday. Like this like platitude that they give you. And it's like, you can't like what that is. I understand that feels like a nice thing to say, but ultimately it's like, no, you can't guarantee that. Like that's like, I don't know.
Well-meaning, but
ultimately fall flat.
Not great.
Yeah. And Nick says, I respect the hell out of you for telling me that. Like we're at like a stand in the morning at like a sales company. Like I respect the hell out of you for getting those numbers. Like good job, do it again, slap you on the butt, keep going. Talking about how he said he loved her, and she's like, you know, I want to make sure that when I do say it back, I mean it. So and this again was when I realized I really like Kate more because I was like, I'm glad she's not rushing to say I love you. Like I'm glad she's like reasonably like pumping the brakes on this entire interaction.
She's a real one. I underestimated her. She's a real one.
Yeah, Kate is like on Anna level for me. I think like I just the more she continues to show up, I really liked her. Oh my god. Everything I want to like throw things at my screen. He's like, talking about Watch Guy. That's my nickname on the other side. I was like, by whom? By yourself? They're not calling you Watch Guy.
I haven't heard a single person call you Watch Guy.
Not a one. Not a one. And he was like, people think I'm player. Oh, this guy's got a bachelor lifestyle. Who?
Nobody thinks that.
No one's asking that. Not a person.
Nobody thinks that. Everything you say, I'm like, this man makes women uncomfortable wherever he goes. That's how I think of you.
I think he makes everyone uncomfortable. It's not restricted to women. I think it's men and women.
That's true.
And we cut to him talking to Annie, and she's talking about like, I need more validation because her ex, she like got into his phone and found it wasn't one girl he was talking to, wasn't 20 women.
That's fucked. That's so fucked.
Men are like out here just like dogs, and they're like still getting away with this behavior. It's like, it baffles me more every day.
I know. I was in my notes, I was just like, who are these mid men that are doing this to these women? And I was like, we need a Love is Blind that's straight women, straight dudes, and then we throw in some like high quality lesbians and just see what happens. Just see what happens. We can have it hosted by Gabby Windey and Robbie Hoffman. And I feel like most of the women will be going after the high quality lesbians.
Yeah, I also would like a show where we get to kidnap these men, and they like go to an island, and it's like a scared straight for emotional vulnerability and like not be an emotional terrorist to women.
That would be great. I would love that. I would host that. I would be very I volunteer.
He's like, I'll let you see my phone. It's mostly guys chats where we're like talking about, dude, my dick's curly today. I was like,
Nick is on a bunch of group chats where everyone else on the group chat has a separate group chat. Yeah. Yep. Talking about how much they can't stand Nick.
Like all of the group chats with Nick are silent. Or like there's no notifications because they come back to it later. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just exhausting. So now...
oh boy. Oh boy.
If you haven't watched the show already and you're just watching our recaps, I'm going to let you know we're about to get into a very dicey territory of where I could not believe... I was texting Andy as I was watching this. I was like, I could not believe that these people are saying this on filmed television where people can access this, employers can access this, clients, your family, your friends, strangers, anyone can access this at any time. Which leads us into Nick asks Annie, do you want your kids to grow up Christian as well? And we start where I'm like, oh no. I don't, where is this going? Because she's like, oh, the discipline part, like, I had old school parents, I got spanked. I was like, where is this going? Why did Nick say this? And he asked, like, if at some point your child told you they were LGBTQ+. Now, a normal, sane person's reaction would be, I would love my child no matter what they are, how they feel, however they come out. I just want them to be healthy and happy. I have like anxiety, like going to the next slide.
I know. Because you're like, I don't want to, like, she's the one who said it, but like, I don't want to be associated.
I know, and I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So she says, and I think she at first is like, it's like fine, but I can't tell you, I'd be the first person to be like, yay.
I think she thinks that that's like a nice way of like acceptable, and it is like, it's so unacceptable.
It's so unacceptable.
Oh my God.
And then Nick says, it's like, yeah, because, like, do you know what you're signing for? Do you feel like it's a fad?
Oh my God. Oh my God. This conversation was so disgusting. Like, two people bonding over the fact that they have these, like, keep it to yourself kinds of thoughts about homosexuality that, like, kids are being pressured into coming out as queer at school. Like, this is some Fox News garbage.
Alarmist media that we're going to hear about in a second. That is, if you're criticizing other people for alarmist media, maybe you need to check your own sources and what you're listening to and buying into.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not like your kid it's like your kid wearing their clothes inside out. This is like a thing that they feel. Like, that's a part of their identity. And he's like, when kids start having thoughts like too young, are they being influenced?
Ugh. I was reading an article that somebody wrote about this, and they made the very salient point that we sexualize kids immediately. Like, as soon as kids are born, they are influenced in the way of, like, straight, okay? Like, we're like, oh, this little kid is, like, a real, like, lady killer, or, like, she's gonna have so many boyfriends, and she's, like, a 3-year-old. Like, the argument that, like, where are they getting these ideas? It's like, we push the hetero version of this onto kids immediately when they're way too young to even be thinking about anything having to do with this. So, like, don't give me this bullshit of, like, where are they getting this from? Like, this is so, ugh.
Well, it's like, we've discussed this before. It's like when the moms are like, oh, this is my boyfriend, talking about their son. And like when people are like on a play date, they're like, oh my God, the two of you are going to get married someday. And it's like, and even from gender reveals, like we started like just like before they're even born, and without allowing them to identify and choose how they feel about themselves, we thrust it upon them and have these expectations upon them that make them then maybe feel not comfortable admitting how they feel because they see what is being pushed upon them and perceived as what is acceptable and not acceptable in their world. So then Nick starts to talk about his mom, who he says she listens to a lot of alarmist news, which I think like we can all sort of make our own judgments and inferring on what that means. Starts to tell this strange story about how he was depressed in high school and his mom is like hesitant to have this conversation with him. And he's like, Mom, are you asking if I'm gay?
Oh boy.
And he's like, no, I was just like sad about a girlfriend. Hey, look, I'm straight. And he just thinks this is some funny anecdote when clearly it's just a cover for how insecure he has probably been about this specific detail, and it's influenced every aspect of his personality.
Yes, because he then goes on to be like, I felt like I had to bring girls home and like smooch them in front of my parents. Here's the thing. We don't know. We don't know if this man is in the closet. We don't. But the fact that he's telling this story, regardless of what it is that he's trying to project or what it is that he's trying to cover up, it's a weird choice to tell this story. And he tries to share it as an example of like, quote unquote, good parenting as far as like your child maybe being like LGBTQ plus. But it was obviously not good parenting. Like he tries to be like, yeah, I would want to approach it like my mom did, where she like very uncomfortably tried to make me admit I was gay. And I'm not, by the way. I'm totally not.
Totally
I'm 100% not.
Yeah, so straight.
It's just this man, again, I don't know where he falls on the sexuality spectrum, and it doesn't even matter. He's just doing this like crazy amount of overcompensating while also being homophobic. And regardless of where it's coming from, it's bad and it's wrong.
It's bad and like performative. It's almost like he's like, Annie, you can feel my dick through the pod. Like, you know, I just wanted to show like, okay. Like, I don't know. It's just, we've, you know, I in this year, like 2025, like Andi and just like, yeah, we want to support like you to feel however you want to feel. And like, you shouldn't have to bury those feelings so deep that like it then externalizes hate towards others and that, and like, and that's like where, you know, that becomes very muddy territory. And that was just, I mean, I do appreciate Netflix for including this because I think like this could have been something they easily edited out because it is dicey, but I think it is like, it's, you know, creating conversations of like why this isn't a problem and why this is not rhetoric that we need to be promoting.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I just, the fact that the two of them seem to get closer through
that conversation.
This conversation is like, it speaks volumes about Annie as well. I was already like kind of meh about her anyway, and like she really fell out of favor completely.
Yeah, it was like ick from both sides. It was very bad. And I hate to tell you, everybody, this episode doesn't get a lot better.
Sure doesn't.
So we cut to like Nick in the men's quarter. This is where we start to really see like what his dynamic is with the other men, that it's very much like it feels like he's making these very like masculine comments to try to like get in with the bros and like I'm one of the boys, because you can tell he's never been one of the boys, and he's like, I don't need to say it, like that's what's been weighing on my mind during these days, just like talking about like trying to have these like I'm like, I can relate to all of you, I'm the same, and he's very much not. And then this like funny string of events, again, we do not like Joe, but it's like this speaks to like what the level of like emotional capacity that they're all at. They're like, but now Nick is spinning. Is everybody spinning? And then like we cut to Brendan and pause. He's like, well, we're spinning a little bit over here on the guy's side. Like that is like the vocabulary like limitations that we're at. So
one word. They're like, oh, that's a good that's enough. That describes what's happening.
Spinning. That's a good way to explain this feeling. You know what? This is going to catch on in the pods. And we are now, Brendan and Annie are physically spinning in the pods. I was screaming my head off that these snakeskin boots were on the and also, okay, I have to say, there's a lot of pasta being eaten in the pods. And this is a very messy food. Spaghetti and meatballs is the last thing I want to be eating in the pods when I'm like having a conversation. Like there is nothing like very neat and easy about that. The vibes from Brendan are very weird here. Like there's like this like strange like, I don't know what happened. And she's like talking about like, oh, I want a big TV. And he's like, he's like, you haven't said that. I don't remember that one bit. You can tell like Brendan is really into Annie. Like this is clearly his number one. And the two of them like have a connection that is like much more palpable, I will say, than her and Nick. That like, where like the Nick thing, it's like, like, I don't know. It's connected by hatred. And then this one, it's like, these two could have a very boring life together.
Yeah, like, I don't really care about what happens to the two of them, but, like, I do think Brendan is a much nicer, more genuine person than Nick is. Yeah, and, like, the disconnect also kind of felt like it was coming from Annie as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, do you want Brendan to, like, say a bunch of, like, anti-gay stuff to, like, get you going? Like, what are you... what
is happening here?
What's going on?
I know when, like, this man has been very open, he's, like, he just seems like a very solid guy, just, like, a very, like, he'll be a good dad. He's, like, the guy in the neighborhood that'll help you hang up your Christmas lights on the front of your house.
Oh, yeah. He mows all the neighbors' lawns. Yeah.
Yeah, just, like, a very, just, like, nice guy, and it's just, like, talking about, like, you could tell he's really, like, invested in her. He's, like, what if I were to lose you? And Annie's, like, okay, well, then, like, I need you to tell me, this is, like, her way of connecting and like being validated is like, I need you to tell me, what is our life going to be like? It's just, I don't know that she's like connecting like what validation is versus it's like how quickly I tell you that I love you. Like, it's just like the two things are very opposite.
I think Annie has a lot of work to do. I think like her experience with her boyfriend who was cheating on her with 20 women, like kind of messed her up. And I don't know that she's like really gone deep on that.
I know when it's like Brendan's like actually talking through like the logistics of like, this is like, what does our life look like? You know, sort of things like here where, and instead of like when Annie's like, oh, but I want a house, like a 2-floor with a red door. This like, I was like, are we playing MASH? Like, it's just very... It's very, like, junior high school coded of, like, when you talk about, like, marriage and a life with someone, when it's like, hey, there's, like, a lot more to the foundation, like, than a literal foundation we have to discuss of, like, do our values align? Like, how do you, like, what do you feel about, like, these aspects of, like, how we can operate together and how we function? And he talks about, like, you know, how do you feel about, like, lazy days? And she's like, I'm not a stay-at-home girl.
I mean, I'm not interested in dating Annie, but she is not. She and I would not be good friends.
No, we would not be aligned. I just want to be chosen when it's like Brendan's saying these things to you without like saying that. He's giving you more.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you boring? Like, I think she's just like negging him. I don't know. She's just like wanting to find things wrong with Brendan, I think.
Yeah, this is where I started to be like, I think she's vibing more with Nick and is like trying to push Brendan away without having to like actually break up with him.
Exactly. That move, which is not, you got to come out with how you're feeling, everybody. Like that's like not, you can't do that in 2025.
No, you can do that in your early 20s. It's still not good, but once you're out of that, like, no, not a good move.
And she does that thing where she's like, oh, I'm like not really serious about that. I'm just like messing with you. Like that sort of game. She's a therapist's worst nightmare, I have to say. Like Annie, I imagine like a therapist gets her intake form and is like, oh no. But also they're like, great, I'm gonna get an add-on to my kitchen because we're gonna be together for a very long time. He's like, I'm pretty sure I was gonna tell you I love you through the wall at some point, and you see her eyes just like light up because she's like, oh
no, she tells him
oh, tells him that. But yeah, she says that, and making like Brendan think there is like a possibility there. But she's like, don't make me say it first though. And I don't want to be the girl that has to propose to her man either. Everything about her is.
Annie has a lot of ideas about the person that she wants to be perceived as.
Yeah, you got to replace all the Colleen Hoover books on your shelf with some like, journaling. And Brendan, poor Brendan, is like, hey, I feel really good right now. And just like he feels like he's on cloud 9 after all of this, thinking like, you know, everything is a go. These two are like on the right track and not thinking like anything's going to deter that. And God, this shot of him on the couch just looking so happy with the fake Netflix song underneath, you probably never loved someone like I do while we soar to the sky. Like, I just got all the songs. I wonder,
the fake Netflix songs are so funny to me.
I know, because I wonder, like, do they give them, like, okay, here's what's happening in this scene. Now, can you write a song based off of this?
I mean, probably, because at this point they're probably just using like AI. It does often have to do exactly with what's going on. And like, I don't know, like the lyrics will be like, you broke my heart because your mom didn't like me. And you're like, where did you get this very specific song?
Where in Nashville was this recorded? Interesting. Hoo boy. Okay, so now this is where things really start to like launch. Because I think before we've like grazed the surface with Casey, and Casey's on the couch talking with Calabria about how she has a man outside the plaza that was an ex that's like, I could have convinced you not to go months ago, and he just told her she was like, she'll be the hottest person on the show, and she's like, I hope I'm the funniest one. That's what you thought about? And he was like, I showed you to other people more than anyone I've dated, like that. I'm not an Instagram model, but I just thought you were so hot. And this is when the red fire alarms start to go boo, boo, boo. Like, we know everything is about to go disastrously wrong. He's just like, I'll be here when you get back. So this already like tells us, was like, okay, so does Casey just like have this ex waiting outside the pods for her? Is she here for the Instagram follows? Like, what is this woman's motivation?
Yeah, it's very unclear. At the very least, it sounds like she has a completely toxic ex. I dated a guy like this in college, and it'll really mess with your head if your frontal lobe is not fully developed.
Correct.
It is, it's bad.
Those guys are the ones that are like, oh great, the minute they find out like you've broken up with someone, they're immediately in your mentions. They're immediately they're immediate reply guys. They're coming in out of the woodwork, and it's just like, this is all very bad. I'm actually kind of shocked this man isn't on the show. But we find out that the boyfriend was like supportive of her going on the reality show.
Yeah, not great.
Not great. Very strange. And of course, Patrick is very skeptic about all this. And I think this is like, we can kind of feel it's like, in general, with his interactions with Casey, because Anna's gone now, he's doing his best to really like fake himself that like this connection can work. Like, he's really trying. And it's like, God bless him. I give him so much credit for trying to like make this be a thing. But boy, part of me is like, I wish you had just gone home. I know. Go find Anna, have like a real date off of TV, and like see if there's something there. Because this is only going to take you down like a Mario Luigi tube of like bad things of like the underworld, like that. You don't need to be exposed to, Patrick.
No, we want better for you.
Yeah, and the boyfriend is like skeptic, and he's like, it's not gonna work, blah blah blah. Patrick obviously then asks the right question. He's like, I didn't make a backup plan. Like, are you just gonna go? Like, marriage is intent. Like, I'm here to be married. Are you here to be married? Like, there's no backup plan here. And it just is like very confusing, this whole interaction. Like, I just like, what's authentic about Casey? Like, what are we supposed to believe? I think like sort of with like her presence here on this show. Obviously asks like, are you concerned about my commitment to you? And she's like, this is the weirdest thing in my life I've ever done, and tries to be vulnerable. And then the tonal shift that happens.
Oh boy.
Is one of like the craziest switch ups I think I have ever seen, because we go from this like intense, sincere conversation about like, what are your intentions about being here and this relationship outside of the pods, to then Casey is like, I can't love you until I get to like touch you. And it's almost becomes like we're watching her like sext Patrick. And it is one of the most uncomfortable things I've had to sit through. And you know, I've had, you know, men make me watch like Fight Club and things like that. And this was like, this was much worse.
This was like watching like an auditory lap dance that like the person receiving it didn't necessarily want. Exactly. Yeah. And the person giving it also didn't fully feel invested. I feel like a bad woman saying this, but I feel like Casey sensed that she was losing Patrick.
Correct.
Because he was questioning like her authenticity, and she was like, I know what to do in this situation. I don't think this is the kind of connection that Patrick was hoping to develop in the pods on television.
I don't know, just it's so weird. And he's like, but you know, like I can't say I'm a robot. And she's like, I want to do everything for you. Like, and I just had to screenshot Go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets. Go Nuggets. We love Nikola Jokic on this podcast.
And Jamal Murray, we love our boys. Just that was for me. And she's just like, I'm gonna go. Like, won't get her foot off the gas. It's like every time Patrick is like, we found a way to get out of this. She's like, she's like, I'm gonna go crazy on you. I think I'm like, oh my God, Casey, like stop. This man like doesn't want to talk like this. Like, please stop. Yeah. And you know, she's like, I want to love you and I want to give you everything I've got. And he's like, okay. And she's like, good night, boy. And like, you can tell this man has left more confused than when he entered the pod. Like, he doesn't know what he walked into.
Nope.
Very confusing across the board. And then we're to the next nightmare pod. We're back with Sparkle Megan and America's Worst Nightmare Mike. And where he is very much, he's like, you know, you could be sitting pretty, like, if you make the right decision, because, like, Mike is the prize. Mike is the prize for being one. And this is where very overtly we hear him start to plant ideas about Jordan into Sparkle Megan's mind without her saying overtly, like, that's who she's with. And he is, like, this evil mastermind. I don't trust this man. And he's like, are you into guys with tattoos?
Mike, this is your date. Like, this is your date. You have an opportunity to win this woman over by being yourself. Like, leave Jordan out of it.
Yeah, because Jordan, it's not even entering his mind. Like, that's not even anywhere.
No, he's not talking about him.
And he's like, are you in, and says, like, she asks him, and he's like, you don't put bumper stickers on this car.
It, like, really makes me judge Megan that she's still dating this man. Like, I actually kind of like her. I've really grown to like her at this point. And she knows his type, so, like, I just don't get why she's still entertaining.
What I think it's the, like, logical part of her brain where she's like, I see, again, like we said, like, it's like, I think I know how my life goes with him. I see how we fit. I see, like, what the cars we're driving. I see the house that we have. I see that. To which we then cut to, he's like, I do not care what kind of car you drive, because Jordan has been trying to guess what kind of car Sparkle Megan drives. Mm-hmm. It just, he's evil. I can't stand this man.
It's like the most diabolical twist on, like, Cyrano de Bergerac. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like, he's like using information that he's like not supposed to know from another guy to, like, it's fucked. It's absolutely fucked.
And he's like, if you were like, I drive a Kia, and she's like, that's what Jordan drives.
Yeah.
So dropping very specific details that, like, lets her lean into everything. He's like, he tries to cover it. He's like, I'm not talking about anyone besides us.
Okay, whatever. I don't understand how these people don't understand that, like, even if they end up with the person that they want to end up with.
Right.
they're gonna watch the show. So like,
I know.
Let's thought experiment this. Megan chooses you. You guys end up together. She's gonna watch this and know what the fuck you were doing a year later, and that's gonna be a problem.
I know. To quote the chicks, gaslighter. You know?
Exactly.
And he's like, I usually get what I want. And if I hear that, I'm running out of the pods. Like, I'm, oh God. And she's like, well, what did you write in there? He's like, oh, I can't wait to tie Megan up. I was like, and he was like, oh yeah, you're better than these guys. I was like, this man needs to get like Christmas caroled so badly. I need his like ghost of Christmas past, present, and future to visit him to like give him a rude awakening.
Yes.
And we get into her dating history and we find out she dated someone who was like almost a billionaire.
It tracks based on everything she's told us.
It explains like why she's Sparkle Megan. It's just like, it's like fascinating. I was like, Megan, I would love a prequel series on Sparkle Megan because it just seems like she's lived a lot of lives that I'm like, I need to know more about like all of these aspects of Megan. Yeah. And we found out that like she also then dated a younger guy on the opposite end of the spectrum who didn't have the same financial background. And she's like, I experienced both ends of the spectrum. She was like, but maybe I found him. Megan, no, you didn't find him. Not in this pod.
Not find him.
Not in this pod. No. And we cut to Mike in his confessional, and he's like, I feel I'm 100% the best choice for Megan, but if she doesn't pick me, I think she's making a mistake.
Again, we're not actually talking about Megan. We're talking about you, Mike, and this has become entirely about him winning because he thinks it's ridiculous that the woman he likes would also like Jordan because he looks down on Jordan.
We then cut to her in the pod with Jordan, which then, of course, triggers her asking, oh, are we allowed to ask about tattoos? Now, Jordan has a response that, like, I was squealing at home. So he was like, I have a couple small ones. There's not a good way to screenshot it, but he, like, winks to the camera.
I know.
My God, this man does not know what he's doing. Like, he knows what he's doing, but, like, he doesn't. No, God, this moment, I had to like, it took me out. I was like, I really was like, Jordan, I don't like what's happening here to me. And we find out Sparkle Megan had got a lower back tattoo at the age of 14, which was like a very wild, I was like, okay, Megan, more to the story. Very rebellious. Because also you have to be 18. I was like, did you get this illegally? Like, I want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all of the things.
I didn't even think about that, yeah.
This is like, Megan, she's like, I probably would have never given you the time of day in real life. And she's just like having this realization of like, I'm glad that like I kept taking a chance on Jordan. And like, again, the viewers are glad as well. We're very glad you did. Like, has this like beautiful, like they have this conversation about like how she's like so open and ready to step into this role for Luca it just was like, I don't know. I can't imagine as like a single parent dating how much like pressure, that external pressure that is for you to be dating and like to have to not only put yourself out there, you're putting your child out there, and to like have someone be so open and willing and it doesn't feel like there's any hesitation on her part.
That really surprised me about her. And like, I liked his response to the screenshot. The only thing I would expect is that you love him. Like everything else is just a bonus. But like, yeah, it's this was pretty magical, and like this is where I was like, you know what, I'm fully on board with Sparkle Megan. I didn't like her. I really didn't like her. I judged the shit out of her. Yeah. And I'm starting to really, really like her because she can see that like Jordan's a good dude, so his son's probably cool as hell.
And then Megan makes a cheeky comment. She was like, oh, I bet you have BDE. And he was like, actually, I have SDE. And it was just like so funny. And I cackled to myself. I don't know. He's keeping me on my toes. It's very, I think to have like a man that like a straight man I'm enjoying here talk this much, it's like, it's alarming.
I know. And he has a little bit of like Andy Bernard from The Office, but like in like a good way energy. I don't know. There's like something about him, man. Something about him.
Yeah. And he's like, like just everything he says, it's like very lovely that he's like, we can discover that we're each other's purpose too, like about like their relationship and like being like with Luca and like it's just like very healthy. This man is clearly read like Attached, like it's very like and is like very supportive of like about like saying like if I had more than one connection, he's like I would explode if I felt that way about two people. And we cut We go from like a good place to like the darkest place imaginable in the pods. And Nick is dressed like, I don't know, like he's like about to go golfing, like, and it's very he's got his khaki shorts on, I'm ready to be married, and I'm like, holy shit. It's like, you know, he thinks like marriage is like the symbol of like how he gets to like level up, and that's like gonna actually like finally secure his masculinity. And talks to like Saint Love, and she's like, you know, that's like kind of fucked up, honestly, on your end. About like, and he's like, but like she's like, I don't say I love you unless you truly love someone for life. And that it's like, it felt a lot like love bombing. And Kate, God, I loved her. I was like, I'm ready to go to war for Kate, like in this moment, this entire conversation. Yeah. And I was just like, you know what? I was like, I would rather her come out of this alone and like not settling for this bullshit. Cause like this man is so, she's so beyond out of his league. And like, that would be a nightmare situation. She's like, I hope she knows ultimately, as we're about to like get to, like, she avoided a bomb.
Oh my God. Yeah. Fully dodged a bullet. She also like totally expertly diffuses Nick's like tantrum that he starts having here.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh God, like if you choose this man, you are setting yourself up for a life of just diffusing tantrums left and right.
And that's not unless it's your child, like it's not worth it.
No.
And she's like, you know, like it totally invalidates how I felt at that moment, because she'd been so, you know, level-headed about like, I'm not saying like I love you back unless like I mean it. Like it's not just something we're saying so casually. And like that love is in a moment. And Nick is like, oh, but I spent all these nights awake. I'm like, all these hours I spent journaling. Like, shut up. Like that's platitudes.
All
like,
of this felt so fake to me.
Yeah.
From him.
It was so manufactured, like all of these like things he was about to say. And then she's like, I just think maybe we have a different definition of love. And then he like, the religion thing comes up again and is like, where do you think that like, could you be religious? And he's like, never been a religious person. Are you kidding? And this man, like, it's like his top explodes like out of nowhere. Like that.
It's really weird.
And he's like, well, one could assume after this implies the before, that you were religious at one point.
She literally told you that she lost her faith in God because of the horrible thing that happened with her mother, which is completely valid. And you sat there and listened and told her that you respected the hell out of her for her saying that. Mm-hmm. Why are you acting like you didn't hear any of that? I think what happened is that she called him out for love bombing her, and he got angry and decided, oh, she's not that religious, so I'm gonna like pick at that and I'm gonna use that as an excuse and say like I'm super religious, when before he was like, I have a quiet relationship with God.
Correct. Like he doesn't want someone that's gonna push against him, because again, as we see already, his masculinity is so deeply fragile. He's too insecure. He can't handle that. He's like, I did not know you never wanted to walk that path. Like, just every like phrasing of this, I was like, oh my God, I know you go to a mega church. And Kate, rightly so, was like, what the fuck? Like, that's not what you do when you're in love. Like, what is this big switch up? Like, that we've, like, Scooby-Doo, like, taken the mask off. Like, we're now seeing the real Nick underneath. And he's like, I just really hope you can find your peace with that. And it's like,
this was so crazy.
If I were Kate, I'd feel like I'm going insane like during this entire interaction, because it was so opposite of like what he was going, like,
would march right back into the pods and be like, excuse me, I need everybody in the room. I have an announcement to make. If any of you are still dating this man, like, this is what he just did to me.
Very 30 an actor announcement.
Yes, exactly. Listen up, Fives, a tennis speaking.
And we cut to her and she's like, oh God, that guy. I was like, he is awful. He is awful. Allie is comforting her. Kate, you don't, like, honestly, you're the prize. This man is not the prize.
Yes. I want the world for you, Kate. I am foreseeing at the reunion, we will see a little bit of Kate, because we'll have a whole section where we have a come to Jesus with Nick, and everybody tells him what a bad person he is. And Kate will be there, and she will be like engaged to somebody else who loves her.
I hope so.
That's what I'm predicting.
What I want for her is I want an actual mountain man that has like maybe like 2 dogs and like a truck. And I think, like, they go to brunch a lot, but he's, like, actually fun and outgoing.
The only God that man sees is when he looks straight into a campfire, you know?
Yeah. And he's like, got his like fantasy football draft. He's like, hey, babe, I'm going to be with the guys for 2 hours, but what do you want me to bring home for dinner? You know, I'll see you on the other side. Kate, like, there's a better world out there for Kate. Justice for Kate. We love Kate. I like cheered like at the screen, like when she was like out, and it was, I'm glad she got out of it. And Nick is like alone by himself. No one is talking to, like, no one's engaging with Nick. It's like he's doing that thing where he's probably said this 4 times in a row to get their attention.
Yes.
For anyone to acknowledge him. I feel like I could have made the biggest mistake of my life.
Yeah. He's sitting in the lounge being like, I'm in such pain. And like
I'm in pain.
Everyone's like, I gotta go get on the treadmill in the gym room. Sorry, bye.
Yeah, we gotta go group masturbate in there. So see you later, Nick. We cut to a very huge switch in his behavior. He's now in the pods with Annie, and suddenly there's a gift in front of him.
God. Oh my God.
This conversation is crazy because it's like he is now about to say everything he said to Kate and a new shiny turd package to Annie.
He also tells Annie that he broke off his connection because Kate, quote, came at him with daggers. Yes. And I was like, that is absolutely not what happened. Like, I know that we like only saw the edited version, but I think it's pretty indisputable that you were the one with the daggers. Like, what are you talking about?
But he's like, no, I'm the victim. I'm the one. She came at me. And it's like, that's not what's happening.
I hate him so much.
And then he immediately is like, I just said a prayer. Because there's like a massive bouquet of flowers in there. Like this is like a crazy love bombing gesture to like really deflect from like, it's like, he immediately is like, Kate never existed. I am now always all in on Annie. This was never the case. Like, I never thought that about anyone. And it's just like, I said a prayer last night that God would help refresh my spirit. And he's like, I'm choosing you. What? Before he was like, I'm not sure about my other connection. Like, has said this multiple times, but out of, in the post-homophobia conversation, he's choosing Annie. They align. And I'll be your wish.com, Zac Efron. Okay, on what planet?
Temu at the best. At the best. Like, he literally got rejected by Kate.
Yeah.
Because he got super weird about the God stuff. Because she called him on his bullshit and he couldn't take it. So he got super weird about the God stuff. And then he turns around. He just wants to stay on the show. He just wants to stay on the show. So I've got one connection left. And he's diabolical. I think he sussed out that like Annie would accept love bombing in a way that Kate did not. He sensed that and was like, if I just get her a gift and flowers and tell her that I chose her, even though that's not what happened, I will get to stay on the show.
Because that is like the superficial ask that Annie has. Like, because Annie doesn't want depth in a relationship. She wants the, like, all the superficial stuff, as we're about to see more that we're going to get into. And she's like, oh my God, Nick, I love you. Oh my God. And Nick comes out of the pot. It's the only time I have liked Joe. Because he's like, and it's fantastic and good and great. And Joe immediately is like, what the fuck? Like, okay, I don't believe any of this. What woman is talking to Nick? They sidebar while Patrick is having to listen to this bullshit. And Brendan's like, he's talking about Annie. He's like, because he's sort of like putting the pieces together of who the other connection could be. And he's like, I'm looking around like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And it's Nick. Like, that's the one that I'm in competition with. Like, outrightly, like, Brendan is a much better person than Nick. Like, how is there competition?
It's so clear that all of the guys don't like Nick. And like, far be it from me to trust a group of men, but they've been spending a lot of time with him. And
so much time.
They do not like him or want to be friends with him.
And not even a little bit. We cut to Brendan and Annie, and it's like now Annie is using the tactics that Nick was using on Kate to really like try and end things without her having to say it herself. And it's just being really weird and strange. And he's like, you don't think we have serious conversations? Like, again, he's being blindsided. This poor man. This man would do whatever insane Halloween costume you would, like, want him to wear for the family Christmas card. And, like,
absolutely.
Like, no
Absolutely.
questions. This
No
man just wants to
questions.
make you happy. And you can see she's like, has like this like, she's like, she's really like having to like build up like whatever bullshit she's about to spew. Like, she's like, there's the two brain cells are working very hard here.
Yeah, she's like having trouble getting started on breaking it off with him. So she's kind of just like being weird and like everything he says, even though it's genuine, she's like, nah.
I don't know. And then he's like reminding her, like, I haven't been shaky about you like at all. And she starts this bullshit about like, I wanted more from you, which is like,
I don't know what she's talking about.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about, girl? And he's like being very like gentle, like just like, hey, like if it's someone else, I just need you to say it. I was like losing it during this entire interaction. Like how like
I know.
this was so insane. And she just like ends it like, I don't know if I'm self-sabotaging or if I'm just choosing someone else. Like
I hate that she fell for Nick's manipulative stuff. Like, I really hate it. I hate that he knew, like, okay, Kate's too smart for me to just like, you know, shower her with gifts and like tell her I love her. So like I'll move on to Annie, and I hate that Annie fell for it. And I hate that like I do appreciate that there's like really not any drama seemingly in the girls' lounge for this season. Yeah. Like they all seem to be like kind of minding their own business with their connections. But I really, really wish, and maybe we'll see this later, maybe this did happen. I really, really wish that Kate and Annie knew about each other and that Kate could warn her.
Just like really like, hey girl, hey sis, like here's what's happening.
Yeah.
And Brendan just looks so defeated. He's just like that he's going like on a spiral that like this girl has really like done her number on him. And we cut to cesspool headquarters, and my God, Brendan is like talking to Jordan, and you can imagine what I picture is that like Nick sees this conversation happening and he like runs up to it. Like he was not a part of the conversation, and he like plops himself into it. Because, like, Brendan's trying to, like, outrightly say, like, I'm confused by, like, what's happening. He's like, I don't know what the fuck, like, what else I could have done. Like, what else happened? I think this is Nick that's, like, I've never felt so strongly about uncertainty with mine. Is just, like, he's trying to big dog this conversation.
Yep.
And it's just, like, poor Brendan. He knows, like, what has happened is being, like, so measured about like I honestly like about this like in a way that like I don't know that like anyone else could, really containing himself. Jordan's like, that's wild. Like he's it's like, this is crazy, because like you can see Jordan, like everything behind Jordan's eyes is like, okay, yeah. And Nick is like, things have a funny way of working out the way they're supposed to, and Brendan,
oh my God, he's literally like a Disney villain. I feel like he goes back to his hotel room and just like rubs his hands together.
I bet there's like a zodiac corkboard of like red string of everything going together. Like, yes. I hate to say it, but there are like major serial killer vibes with Nick.
Yes.
And I don't know that we background checked him enough.
I don't think we did. I also think that like it almost seems like he went into this being like, I'm going to be the villain.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to find love, but also, like, I'm going to be the villain. It's like he wants it.
Makes these weird, like, again, the comments that he makes in the men's quarters are so strange. He's like, you know, I love my guys. My life's going to be so boring when you guys aren't around saying stupid shit. I'm like,
I know. And all of them are like, I cannot wait to get rid of you.
I can't stand this man. Why am I still stuck with him? I'm not getting paid enough for this. Oh, God. Okay. Now it just goes from bad to worse. And now we're back at Casey and Patrick headquarters. And she's like, I just, like, woke up so sure about you. And Patrick's like, yeah, anywho. And I can't remember if Casey says this or if this is Patrick. Nothing else would have made sense except you.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. It all blends together. And this I found very interesting, because he's like, there's no other girl I would have. And then like he catches himself, because it's like clearly, because we knew he had such a connection with Anna before this. And he's like really you can see him talking himself into this entire thing.
Absolutely.
And he's like, there's no other girl here that I could have proposed to. And he's like, I'm going to do the play-by-play. He's like, left foot forward, knee down, will you marry me? And she's like, oh my God, yes, like 100 times over, yeah, yes. And I'm like,
this I have trouble with. Maybe I'm just naive, but I'm like, I feel like it would be so hard to fake this if I were Casey, but I don't trust her. And poor Patrick, like, he really, really wanted to come out of this engaged. He really wanted this experiment to work. So, like, I think in his heart of hearts, he knows this is probably not the right choice, but Casey has been so convincing. And she also said, like, my family, like, has, like, a connection to Korea, and, like, my brothers are in interracial relationships, and, like, my family just goes off based off, like, people's hearts and their personalities. And so, like, I don't blame him for thinking, like, maybe if the pieces aren't all there, they still could be down the line. Because I do think with the show, at a certain point, once you get through, like, the 10 days or whatever in the pods, some people are probably not fully ready to propose, but they're like, well, the only way I'm going to keep, like, seeing this person and, like, staying in this experience is to propose. But yeah, I just, like, I was feeling so icked out because of, like, Casey, if you don't really mean this, like, this is a wild performance.
This correct. And also, there was a detail, I think, one, if anyone has found the clips of her sister singing in Korea as a white person, I actually need them. So if you can, like, flood the comments with that, because, like, I have a lot of questions.
Need that.
I actually, because I have a thought in my head of what it looks like, and I need to know, like, what that.
Everything about Casey being Patrick's choice is unsettling.
And then, and my boy is like, I felt like Steph Curry. He's, like, so happy about this. And here we go to the next landmine, where, okay, he's like, oh, all our kids, your brother kids, they're all going to be half mixies. And then Casey's cut off, because you can see what she's about to say. That she's like, seriously, everyone's going to be, and he's like, they're going to be best friends. I implied what I felt like the next words in her sentence were going to be, and I was like, oh no, Casey, you can't, like,
What did you think she was going to say?
I think she was going to be like,
attractive?
That they're going to be mixies, that, like, she's trying to be like that. It's like because I think there is that sort of culture and dynamic that people will discuss about, like, white people dating other cultures and having, like, mixed children because they're like, they're gonna be cute, etc. That sort of thing. And there's and I don't doubt that, with especially as much as she said she's only ever dated white people.
I really like Patrick. Like, if we're talking about Andy's personal crushes on this show, which we don't need to, but I'm gonna do it anyway, Jordan is number one and Patrick is, like, a close second. Very, very, very close second.
Yeah, and she's just like, I'm glad you made me work hard for it. Like, I weirdly to me, actually, I don't know why Casey and Mike didn't mix.
I think Mike was specifically looking for someone who also had a lot of money.
But just everything, I'm like, oh, you two superficially, everything would align. And then poor Annie. We cut to Annie. We think she's about to go in the pods with Nick. What we think is about to happen is that Nick is about to propose. And we hear a voice. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that doesn't sound like Nick's voice. We don't see the person in the pod. And Brendan has come in. He's, like, not giving up. He is not letting go on this. And he's like, I know you have Nick. And it's like, I'm going to be the one to give you that life. And Annie's like, fuck. Fuck. You're making this complicated. I've made a decision. And he's like, you're supposed to be with me. We're supposed to get married. Like, honestly, as much as I don't like Annie, I was like, this is kind of hot from his angle.
I appreciated this because in this show, historically, we actually have not seen a lot of people do, like, a last ditch. It's very, like, The Notebook. Like, it's very, like, rom-com. Like, he's really trying, and it's kind of a rarity on this show. And I really wish that Annie would respond to it, but she had already made up her mind.
I know, because it was just like, girl, like, this man is clearly, like, he wants to give you everything you're asking for. You just have not done the work to, like, recognize that these are, like, actually healthy things that a partner for the rest of your life, like, can provide for you, and, like, what you want in a long-term partner. And he's just like, you're my person. And she's like, why didn't you just tell me sooner?
Like, the next day? Like, we're talking a 10-day span, babe. Like, chill out.
I mean, this is already fast. Like, did you want him to tell you I love you day one in the pods? Like, I don't understand what this man could have done differently, but
I don't either. She's making up excuses because she already told Nick that she was going to break it off with Brendan.
Yeah, it's sick. And he, my God, and he comes back and he's like trying to remind her, and he's like, "What's our house like?" And I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "This fucking broke my heart when he did," because I was like, "This man is like, I've listened to you. I've like made the notes. Oh my God, Brendan, you deserve so much better. Maybe
you do.
Brendan,
like, honestly,
Brendan and Kate, maybe."
Oh, I could see that. I mean, the thing is, these people are all going to hang out and get to know each other. So, like, there will be other hookups, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh my God, this idiot. And she's like, I just want someone who's always going to choose me. What is he telling you? I just don't understand.
She's not making any sense.
No, nothing. It's like all word salad. You are my number one. It's like everything. Like Brendan's like, what the, like, I don't understand what you're saying. This man knows who Nick is. Like, this man has seen what Nick is. He's trying to warn her. He's trying to tell her. And it's nothing. She's made up her mind. And he's like, he's going to propose to you. I love you. And he's like, think about what you're doing. And we're done. And that's a wrap on Brendan. And it's just, my poor guy. I feel so bad. And we cut to the men's headquarters. And Joe, so eloquently, is like, fuck. God damn. Like, it's just like, these men are like.
They have Joe as like the great chorus of the men's lounge. And it's such a weird choice.
I know, it's so funny, and Patrick is like also confused. Like, we get a mirage of like all the shots, and like Edmmond is also confused. This one's gonna sing for a while. Like, all the boys are like, I don't understand.
Yeah, because they all really like Brendan. They think he's a good dude.
And like, why would she say no to him? Oh God, I'm back. We're back here with Mike. I don't know. He's like talking about.
I'm so sick of this guy.
I know. He's talking about how sexy she's going to look in a swimsuit. And she's like, I just, like, don't want you to be checking the boxes. Like, I want you to, like, actually, like, have real, meaningful reasons, like, why we need to be together. And he's like, I want you to want me like I want you. Like, he's like, don't you, like, you know, we're on the same page. We make sense on paper. And Megan is, like, rightfully just being like, but maybe sometimes you got to make the risk. Maybe we got to do something a little bit different. Yeah. And like, I'm just like, and he's like, you're just not feeling the reassurance. Like, I'm giving you the reassurance you need. And we start to hear for the first time her talking about like her other connection. Like, I do have this other very strong connection. And he's like so weird because you realize his masculinity has been threatened and I'm going to leave you a little early.
He's literally doing like business negotiation tactics.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally like, ooh, what's a thing that I can do to like win this argument or like win this client? I'm gonna like leave early and like let her sit with. It's so disgusting. It's so manipulative. And again, this is like the problem with this show and like the problem with of heterosexual men in general. This has become entirely about his competition with Jordan and the fact that he does not think that Jordan is up to his standard of like, he's like, how could someone choose Jordan over me? I can't have proof that like maybe Jordan is like better than I am. And it's not about Megan at all.
No.
And like, that's the problem.
It's become about winning. And like, that's it. It's like, and this man has never lost a day in his life. He was a school bully. Like, you know, he just like, it's everything about it is so insecure. We cut to Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan. And we start talking about like, he's like, we're discovering that some guys like the same gals. And we find out Jordan didn't know that she had another connection. He was like, because he was like, I feel so confident. Like, I have my like one and like, we're good. And she's like, honestly, like, Jordan, I didn't know. You didn't know that. And like, I genuinely like thought like you knew that. And my God, this man, he's so wonderful. Like, he's so wonderful. He's just like, I don't know who else you're talking to. And it's like, no pressure. He's like, but like, I know it's hard. Like, it has to be hard. And he's like, I just want to like keep choosing you like every second until we're old. And I just want you to do what's best for you.
At one point he says, I'm not trying to be a salesperson. And I was like, that is so perfect because Mike literally
is doing a pitch.
Literally doing a pitch. So like, Jordan's like, she needs to choose him. He's like,
she needs to like Megan, if you don't choose him, like, I'm gonna throw my laptop off of here.
He's one of the best men we've seen on this show.
and in and out of the pods. I would say in the real world too. And she was like, that response is very telling for me, Jordan. I also took this screenshot because I was like, interesting. There's like printed questions in the notebook, and I wonder if those are from like the PA. Like, do they put those in there for them?
I do think they give them a lot of stuff. Like, they've had that like box of like games and questions and whatever that's been floating around. I think they know that like it's going to be hard for certain people to like only connect with someone via talking. I mean, that could also be like a poem or like a, I don't know, religious verse or whatever. Like, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But I just thought that was it. I was like, oh, interesting. There's like a printed piece of paper in the note. Megan catches herself off guard and she's like, oh, I love you. And I was like, and Jordan's like, oh, like you said it first, and it's just like a very sweet end of like the interaction with the two of them. Butterflies are flowing.
Megan is so lucky that I got to see her through Jordan's eyes, because I like her so much more now.
I know. It's really like he's opened her up in a way that's like really allowed, I think, all these aspects of her to shine in a way that like I think other men have dulled. They've dulled her sparkle, if you will.
Yeah.
She gets to really be Sparkle Megan, like with him. And that is like very special. We're back in nightmare territory.
Oh, God.
Nick is like, I've got both hands on the wall right now. All right. She wrote like something, I can't wait to keep choosing you. This like choosing you bullshit. I don't know. And he proposes to her. Okay. I literally could care less. This is nightmare.
I don't care. I hope that they don't work out so I don't have to see more of them.
Correct.
Is all I felt.
And then all they care about here, this I just thought was so strange. They're like, and she's like, don't run down that carpet. Like they're so aware of like their perception of like everyone else. Like, and she's like, don't run down that carpet. I don't want you to do that. And he's like, how big are your heels? Can I pick you up and spin you around? Like, they're like pre-manufacturing the moment of them meeting each other. /
again, this is another tactic that men use in these pods to suss out whether or not it's a last-ditch Hail Mary. Like, let's make sure you're not fat. Can I pick you up?
Great. Can I pick you up? And they're like, I'm in love with you. This is so great. Ugh. I can't wait to
It's not. You're not.
You're not. Neither one of you are excited. And then, oh my God. This editing needs to win an Oscar of everything that is about to happen, because this is so incredible. He's like, I can't wait to tell the boys. We cut to the men's quarters. The men are all so deeply dejected, because Brendan is heartbroken. He's still there. And he's like, oh my God, I'm engaged. And they're dejected. And he's like, oh my God, Brendan, sorry. I wouldn't have said that. I didn't know you were in the room.
Why wouldn't he be in the room?
On what planet?
Oh my God. I said earlier, I love how much you can tell how liked or unliked the singles are by like what happens when they walk into the room. And the fact that nobody gets up to like hug or celebrate with this man. Like, I know they're like awkward about Brendan, but like if they actually liked Nick and felt good, like they would, but they don't.
They don't. Not even a little bit. It's just shocking. And Brendan's like, God, this poor man just being like, I'm happy for you. Like, so heartbroken. If I were Brendan, I would punch Nick. Like, in a just world, like, punch the man. We would all be on your side. And then Edmmond is saying everything we are feeling. He's like, he didn't even look at you. Like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, that's a robot over here. Yeah. And, oh God. Okay. So now we go to Patrick and Casey are finally going to be revealed to one another. And now what I think is interesting here, she's like, I hope he thinks I'm hot as fuck, which is a direct contradiction to everything she has said to this point about how she wants them to think I'm funny. I don't want you to think I'm hot. Everything is about, I want you to think that you think I'm like hot as fuck. And he's like, I just want to absolutely blow her spirit away. And she's like, I just always been so look-based heavy, blah, blah, blah. And then they run, and then we have this, like, shot where, like, she's, like, putting on a show. And it's just, like, this interaction is so strange of them, like, meeting each other. And he's like, I don't know. I didn't picture. He's like, I thought there'd be, like, a balayage or a highlight. I was like, oh, wow. So straight man-coded.
The fact that he knows what a balayage is like kind of shocking. Yeah, it was honestly like it was so sad because they were having two different experiences. Like,
I know.
Patrick was like on the moon. He was like holding her and it was so cute. And again, I laser focused. I was like, Casey's not feeling it. She is not feeling it. I can tell right away.
She's immediately putting on a show, and it's like, God, and Patrick's like, I'm super excited because he's like, she's hot. He's like, it's just so like, we're gonna have the most beautiful babies just to smell her pheromones. I don't know the word right now. And he like eventually gets to pheromones. I cackle. I was like, this is so sweet and genuine.
I know.
And she's like, I can't remember the first kiss, which is so funny. Red alarm, red alarm, red alarm. She's like, it's crazy. Somebody call my mom.
Yeah, she's being really weird, like really downplaying it, like, oh, this is so great. Oh my God.
It's so, and
like,
it's,
oh no.
Oh no. This is all about to go so bad so quickly. Mike thinks he's like one. We're in the pods with Mike and Sparkle Megan. And she's like, there's just something in my gut that's telling me this isn't right. And Jordan and I are so different, putting things in her mind, but she like tells Mike, I'm going to pick Jordan basically. But he sprinkles these seeds of doubt in her mind. And she like goes and meets a woman in the pod we've never seen. Yeah. And she's like, I don't know if this was the right decision. And Mike goes over to hug Jordan and be like, I concede, my fair gentleman. You are the winner. Like, I'm so sorry.
And then he was probably like, but take your dick out and we're going to measure them though, because I need to leave here with a win.
Yeah, because I got to know with like my pills and my holistic training, my dick is, my balls are enormous. And the strangest interaction, Nick, again, is a robot. Like, of course, Jordan is left in there and he's like saying this and he's like, oh, fuck, sorry, man. Like, again, no awareness of like that I'm like saying all this stuff. Like,
I think he does have an awareness. I think he knows absolutely everything. This man is a snake and I think he knows everything and I think he's purposely saying shit in front of other people to stir shit up.
It's like so all deeply calculated. It's so calculated. Jordan and Megan are in the pods. He's like, I'm very glad to be here with you. They propose and it's just so sweet. And it's like, it's really wonderful. Just like sweet moment. And now Nick and Annie are about to meet. And he's like, I'm going to burst through the doors like the Kool-Aid man and does the most like insane Kool-Aid impression. I hate everything. And she's like, I imagine him to be very masculine and strong. Yeah. I've never seen a walk. They just like walked towards each other.
Yeah.
It was like so, because she was like, don't run. So they end up just like walking, like there's like no music behind them. And it's the most awkward like embrace.
These are the moments when Netflix is trying to indicate to us, like, I think Netflix is like self-aware in these moments of like, nobody wants this. So we're just going to make it really awkward.
Yeah. And it's so deeply awkward. She's like, yay! Oh my God, I'm excited. He's not the mountain man I envisioned. And we're like, yeah, girl. He not even a little bit. And he's like, I'm going to go back and be like, guys, she's a fox. Like,
he's like not a real person. This is absolutely, like, I can't. And also, like, why are his pants, like, they don't fit him nice. Like, I can't.
They're like what he got in 7th grade going to cotillion, and he's like worn them ever since, and he like runs off like backwards. And then we get to go to the reveal. I think we're like very excited for. But again, we're like addressing the doubts that Mike has given her again. Like, my God, like, you know, she's now like even more nervous about this. But they're like so excited and they like are just so lit up by each other and like they kiss. It was like it felt, again, I was like, this felt like Lauren and Cameron vibes to me.
Yes, this is like one of the least awkward meetings of the entire show that I have ever seen. Like usually like maybe right at the beginning they kiss and they hug, but then when they sit down, it's really awkward. Like the vibes were vibing and like, fuck me, I did not expect to be rooting for these two at all when we first started this. But they are in love, like 100%. Like,
it's just, and he was like, I wore my nicest suit for her because she's bougie. And it's just like, it's so sweet. And then immediately is like, I'm gonna cry. He was like, I want to show you pictures of Luca. And like had brought those, like, I was like, oh my God, this man is just like, it's so sweet. And she's like, oh my God, that's like, so she like loves that, like is so invested in hearing about his son. And she's like, you know, he's like, I'm not trying to do my own horn, but like, you did well, you did good. And she's like, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. And my God, Jordan, okay, from anyone else, I would be so icked out by this comment. But he's like, you know, and he is like, I'm going to put that vasectomy to use. Let's just like say that. Like, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm so into this. And then, so we think this episode is done. From what we can assume. Because like all the couples are engaged. It's like, now we go to Mexico. Nothing could have prepared me at all for what we're about to see. Like, I feel like this was from the scenes from behind, like, a true crime documentary. Casey looks like she has been in the woods. Like, her face, because it's, like, bronzer, but it's, like, patchy. Like, what has happened here?
I knew the second we saw her hair like that Patrick was going to get his heart broken. Yeah. I was like, uh-oh, Patrick's about to get broken up with. That is not the hair you present to the person you're intending on staying with.
Like, this girl has had a meltdown. There's, like, one clip in her hair. She's got, like, the sweatpants on. The producers are interviewing her in the hotel. And she's just like, he deserves somebody better than me. And she's, like, not even looking at the camera. She, like, puts her hand to the side. Where it's like,
and she's
girl,
whispering.
Like, girl, you're mic'd up. We're going to hear everything. I hate to tell you. There's, like, 5 cameras around you. Some man is walking in the hotel behind her. I was like, what Holiday Inn Express are we at? Or that they're having to witness all of this.
I know.
And, like,
he was just trying to get his free coffee and apple from the Hampton Inn and Suite.
And unfortunately, like, my guy, you walked into, like, such a minefield you didn't know the cameo you were making. And she's like, I need to go home. And she was like, you know, I just don't think, like, they're like, that's not you. And she's, like, not being direct with Patrick at all. Is, like, so...
Not at all.
Everything is like a circle of everything she's like saying to him. She's like, I just like can't do the TV show anymore. And she's like, I'm gonna break his heart, and that's just like not what I want. But he's like, okay, but like, are we breaking up? Like, what are we doing?
He was like, it doesn't break my heart to not go to Baja. Like, I don't care if we don't go on that. Like, if you just want to keep dating off screen.
And she's like, well, I don't know how you're gonna get my number. Do you have my last name? And he's like, do you have Instagram? She's like, yeah, duh. And we like think this interaction is like almost done. She's like, I don't know. He's like, you know, I don't know if I'll be there with you. Everything is weird. It's like, are you going
like I replayed this a couple times of like, did she say I don't think I'll be I'll know if I'll be like, what does that mean? What are you talking about?
What is happening here?
And she makes it seem like she's pissed at production. She's like, they're making it like look bad. They're making it like I didn't like what you look like or like whatever.
I don't know. Like, something clicked with her in the hotel after the reveal that it was like, I can't go to Mexico. Yes. And I will say, the bare minimum credit, even though this is the strangest interaction of all time and I don't know what's happening, I am glad she's not making him go to Mexico and continuing this farce.
Yes.
But this is so strange. And he's like, you know, I'll probably take it slow with her moving forward, still having some... And then we get this cursed image outside of the Holiday Inn Express next to the trash with a Chick-fil-A bag inside. That she's like hanging on to him like a koala bear.
Yes, and she like gets down from him and then jumps back. She like tries to go inside and then does it again. And you're like, is this for real? Or is she like putting this on? Like, what is happening?
And it's like, just say it. Just say, like, what you're feeling. Just say it. And we, like, cut to 45 minutes earlier where we see her initially like this. Sorry I look like this. And she's like, I just don't think I could get there with him, like, period. And that's where we're left with this weird interaction at the end of episode 5 of, like, Casey's like had a meltdown and we're left question mark with Casey and Patrick.
I don't remember exactly what's said, but it's pretty clear that like she's just not physically attracted to him. So Correct. She tried to pass it off on the producers being like, they're going to make you think it's because I'm not attracted to you, because she didn't think that they were going to probably use this footage. Yeah. There's really no good way to do this, and he doesn't know that he's being broken up with. He's so confused. I think that a lot of people are going to be incredibly mad at Casey, and I am mad at Casey as well,
same.
because it was pretty obvious that she was not ready to engage in this experiment. She wasn't really all there for Patrick, even in the pods. I'm also mad at her, but she did a couple things right. She did try to not drag it out and not hurt him, but that's just not possible.
Okay, we are taken to our cursed house where Vanessa is dressed like she's like straight out of like Wall Street, like Wolf of Wall Street drag. Like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I do not know.
They're trotting them back out to remind us like what has happened so far. We get a very brief recap, and we are in Mexico. Lots of smooches. And I just thought this was like a funny interaction with Allie and Anton. She's like, "Don't kiss with your eyes open," because I guess he's like kissing her with his eyes open, which is like, I don't know. I've never had anyone kiss me like that, and that is like strange. That's just weird.
It is strange.
It's very strange. Okay, this I had a question on, because he's like, after spending $5,000 on that ring, couldn't afford a vacation anyway. I assumed Netflix like gave them the rings.
They supplement the cost of the rings.
It's a copay.
Yeah, it's a copay, exactly.
Yeah. So that was like, I just thought it was like interesting. But then we start to see a very interesting thing, because then Allie's like, "Oh, but you could spend $10K." Mm-hmm, and I was like, "Oh no, Allie. Okay, we're starting to see a little bit of a crack that like we're maybe not going to see this episode, but is like foreshadowing some stuff with that moving forward. That like her tastes are maybe not in Anton's budget." And she's like, "But like your appreciation, it's like for the future mother of your children. You should spend $10K on me."
It's hard to tell like at this point if she's like joking or fucking with him,
right?
Which she might be.
Very odd. And then this gorgeous sunset. I don't know. It's just a beautiful sunset. I just was this is very
classic reality dating show. Like, who wouldn't fall in love when that's going on?
Exactly. Like, yeah, take me to Mexico. Come on, fly us there. We'll do the pod there. I'd go to an all-inclusive. We cut to Joe and Madison, where she starts talking more about her retinitis pigmentosa. And just talking about like the limitations of like what that means for her, and that she like falls a lot. And he's like, "Oh, I'll be your seeing eye person. Yeah, like that's like I can do that. Like it's a blindfold race at like on a field day. Like I will guide you." And it's like, buddy, like it's
this is more serious than what you're saying.
Yeah. And then, oh my God, then we like cut to her, she goes inside and she falls, and we hear a thud. Yeah. And it was just like, oh, my poor girl. And
I know she mentions that she has like special lighting at home that she probably doesn't have here. Yeah.
That's like motion sensor, which is like great. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And
oh my God.
I'm like not ready to deal with Joe, because this is like a whole other.
Now you've done it, Joe. Now you have done it. I was already very, very, very much not even on the fence with Joe. I already like didn't trust him. And we knew this fucking shit. Okay. First of all, not that we need to be talking specifically about anyone's body, but Madison is gorgeous.
Stunning.
She is gorgeous. Stunning. And this shit makes me fucking crazy.
I know.
You cannot say this. You cannot say this. Don't say this.
Don't say it. You don't need to say that. Like, this is, again, you're being filmed. Or I'd like to remind you, you're being filmed.
You're being filmed. You're literally in front of a camera.
If you ever have children in the future, they can go back and see this. Like, you can't scrub this from the internet. I'm sorry. Like, this doesn't go back in. They start talking about, she's like, "What did you think about me?" And he was like, "I don't know." I was like, there was like the emotional, but now I'm matching it up with the physical, and like, it's okay. Immediately making her start to question herself. And he's just like, "I'm at peace now." Like, I'm at peace now of like the, and it's just like, oh no, this is not going to go well.
Don't believe that for a second.
And then my girl KB is giving the skincare lesson that every straight man needs to hear. What goes on your body should not go on your face. Skincare 101. You don't put the two should mix. You need two different things. And we just get like a montage of everyone going to bed. And These two had a good time last night. Everyone's doing activities, extreme activities.
Oh, I did want to say Megan and Jordan, when they were brushing their teeth side by side, it gave me like extreme Bring It On vibes.
Yes. That's where I learned about sexual chemistry. They're all doing activities. Okay, fine, whatever. Then we start this interesting conversation with KB and Edmmond where things start to really feel, I'm like, I don't quite know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Because like there's this cute moment before like Edmmond has brought KB these like sneakers and t-shirts and stuff, and she's like, I want to spoil you, but she's like, I don't always want to be Miss Independent. I like don't want to always have to be the strong one. And it makes me wonder, oh no, where is she in the birth order? They start talking about this hypothetical like situation where if like say a man approaches her in the club, what would Edmmond do? And she's like, you've got no reaction. You just would like keep it moving. And Edmund's like, I don't want any problem. And she just keeps she's like, but what if he like puts his arm on me? And he's like, like I just want to be like, I'll like talk to them. She's like, okay. She's like, you can be the best Edmmond ever. And like, that's what you should thrive for. It's like, I kind of like don't know what reaction she's like wanting to get from Edmmond.
I don't either. It felt like a weird, dangerous game of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think maybe she's sensing that he is like a softer person.
He's beta.
Which is like not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
I don't know. I actually kind of liked his reaction. I mean, I think she definitely I think she wanted more emphasis to be put on like him being the protector. But like, I thought this hypothetical was weird. And I also think that like Edmund's response of being like, I'm not just gonna like start shit and like get into a fight.
Yeah.
With a stranger. Like, I kind of agreed with him, but I'm really not sure like what KB was trying to like
I know.
get out of this.
It was like just a strange, and he's like, sometimes you got to let me know that I'm the best. Like this, like interesting. You can see there's like this insecurity bubbling within him, and probably I'm sure from his background being in foster care of like thinking less of himself. And it's like, from your partner, I need you to let me know that like I have worth and value myself. And So now we're on a boat. We're on another extreme adventure with Joe and Madison. I don't know why she hasn't pushed him off the boat, but I don't know. That's
seriously.
Me. And we talk about like I've always felt like I'm not enough, and he's like, I wasn't my intention to make you feel that way. And we start digging at that like she's physically not what he's always gone for. She can read through all of this.
Yep.
And see through everything, and that's sort of like is bubbling the tension for what's about to happen later in the episode. Yeah. We're left in a bad place of like, Madison's not feeling great about herself and Joe's not making her feel better about it.
He is not. This man, I know we said this about Mike, but this man has given a woman an eating disorder. I can tell you that right now.
100%. Yeah. And we cut to this nightmare couple. He's like, I'll be your emotional support husband. I'll make you grilled cheeses.
I don't give a shit about either of these people.
I know.
They're inevitably going to break up because there's no way anyone can stand Nick in person for this length of time. Well, so like I'm just like, let's just get it over with.
They're either going to break up or they're to get married and divorced in a year because both of them are like, I have to push forward. And then we start to hear them like have interactions, like what they think about the other people in the cast, because now everyone's starting to meet each other at the resort. And Madison's like, I didn't expect Jordan to be pinky white like me. And Annie's like, Joe definitely gets Botox. And then I loved Edmund's reaction about Annie that she's got a little bob fit, which like I don't really know what that means.
It's not an accurate.
And then my girl Allie, Nick has lizard eyes, especially in the sun. I'm like, correct.
She knows. She knows. Correct.
She knows. Come on, Annie.
God, this show is so diabolical for having these people meet each other like in bathing suits. It's always in bathing suits at a pool party on their honeymoon, and like they always get them so drunk. Whatever tiny cracks were forming, it just explodes them like clay in a kiln. It is like this show is so diabolical for this.
It's crazy. And Nick immediately spots on Sparkle Megan that she's wearing Cartier. And he's like, I'll be your Cartier dealer. And she's like, thank you. It's just like, no thanks. Like very wild. And now.
Oh my God. How pissed do you think all these guys are that they had to go on their honeymoon with Nick?
Oh, I'm sure they're livid. They're losing their mind.
I will say, though, there isn't any, like, overlap on this honeymoon, weirdly. There usually is on the honeymoon where, like, somebody's other strong connection is also there. Like, we don't have that this time around, which is interesting.
Very fascinating. And we cut to the boys and the girls have separated, like at an 8th grade dance, to go talk about what's happening with their couple. And we find out that KB and Edmmond have not dated yet or fucked yet. So they have not fucked yet. Which is a little surprising, but also like I'm not mad at it because it's like it's night 1. Like you don't need to, or night 1, night 2. Like you don't need to immediately like fuck.
I was surprised that everybody else had, actually.
They're all hornballs.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, for me, I think like it would be not necessarily like, it means so much. I think I would just be like, I don't know. I haven't like physically been in the same room with this person long enough. And like, you don't, even if you like really trust somebody on this show, you don't really fully know their intentions. So like,
right. And then we find out Jordan is the best sex Sparkle Megan has ever had. And I knew it! I knew it. I was that man has cunnilingus written all over him. He knows what he is doing. He's read about the female body.
I needed to have a bucket of ice water thrown on me after I
know.
That. Oh my God. Like, of course. Oh my God. That was the big dick energy she was sensing.
Yeah.
It's like big cunnilingus energy. Like, he's just... Like, she's, and also, like, I'm sorry, if you're fucking, like, near billionaires, like, they probably have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Because they haven't had to.
They don't have to. They're like, let's get on my helicopter. Like, it's,
Yes, exactly. Mm-mm. Oh my God. Good for her.
Like, literally, like, because you could feel it. We now cut to the boys, and we find out Edmmond is a little insecure about, like, them not having sex, and if they don't have sex before they get married, he's going to start questioning stuff.
This was kind of shocking because we haven't really seen Edmmond speak this way. And, like, I'm not saying, like, he can't contain multitudes.
No, yeah.
It was weird, like, around the boys, also, like, they've all clearly had a few drinks. It was just like, I haven't heard you speak this way, where it just kind of seems a little bit reductive.
It was very strange. And then we see him he's putting sunscreen on the girls and starts rubbing KB's feet in front of everyone and kisses her toe. This I felt like, I was like, I shouldn't be here. And then Sparkle Megan has the reaction I had inside of just like, why is this happening in front of me?
I mean, I feel like, Edmmond is very physical. He's also, again, he's had a few drinks, but I feel like, depending on editing, if this took place after the conversation where he finds out he's the only guy who hasn't had sex, I feel like he's trying to perform their sensual chemistry for everybody. I don't know. It's weird.
And then Edmmond confronts Annie about the Brendan thing and is like, that was crazy. And then Annie tries to like defend herself and is like, oh, it's fine. I just wanted more. He just couldn't get there. And then Edmmond eventually was like, yeah, you're right. So he's like, Nick is great. You and Nick are great. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. KB also was like, shut up.
yeah. She's like, not right now. That's like, when we go back to the hotel later, we talk about that separately. Like,
exactly.
When we debrief. That's for the hotel. Joe somehow is like deeply overserved or took an edit. Like, I don't know. He's on like a mix of something here. Annie, the only time I have ever liked her, when she was like, this energy needs to stop, Joe. I was like, thank you.
She's like, you're standing too close to me.
And is like, please stop. Like, you're making this weird. Again, how does she have that much hair on her head? I'm sorry. It's just like, when you look at it, it's like crazy. But
I know. Like, how is that clip holding it up? Like, it's I don't know. I mean, she also just she's a hairdresser. She's got great hair.
But yeah, it's just, he doesn't stop. And then Megan tells Jordan, you're annoying me. Like, they're like little boys at the pool. Like, they're just like egging each other on.
I know. And like, this is the least attractive Jordan has looked to me because he's drunk. He's palling around with Joe. And I have to say, my admiration and like for Sparkle Megan only grows because I appreciated that she just said to him, like, you're annoying me.
I know. She's
like, she didn't mince words. She didn't pick a weird fight. She was just like, you're being annoying right now.
And he's like, oh, I'm in trouble. And also, I loved before, also, KB talks about Megan does have a good butt.
Yeah, she does. She's got cake.
And, like, they're interacting, and, like, Madison's like, okay, and he's like, sorry, I was, and she's like, I feel like you kind of talk over me. Because, like, every time she tries to, like, talk to him, he, like, moves in the opposite direction. And he's like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go take a nap. She's like, you want me to come with you? And he's like, no.
This made me so sad. This always happens every time. Again, it is diabolical that they get them drunk and they're all in their bathing suits. Because I'm just guessing, but I think what happened is Joe is already not feeling Madison physically, which again is crazy. He sees everybody else, and I'm assuming that there are other women that he finds more attractive, and he starts melting down over it, and like Madison is calling it out, but he like, I appreciate that he decided to leave. The people who stay end up having conversations that they cannot take back.
Correct.
So I appreciate that he left, but I really feel for Madison. Like, this man is bad news.
You know, you put yourself out there, and then it's like, it's like, oh no, what have I gotten myself into? That this person is like not what they presented as in the pods. And oh god, and then like Annie and Nick are having a dick measuring contest about like they think they're the strongest couple, like talking about, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
that's cute, you guys.
On what planet? And it's like, I love that he's just like, you know, that's guy talk. I feel like guys, you know, typical. Every time it's like he's watched the Man Show to learn about guy talk. Like, that's like how
he's in alien from space who came down and is like, I am a man. I like beer and cars and women with boobies.
Yeah, like he's one of the aliens from the Denver airport that they like talk about, that the alien invasion at the Denver, he's one of them. He's been walking amongst all of you.
We know a lot of stuff about the Denver airport.
And if you haven't looked into it, it's a good 45-minute Wikipedia rabbit hole I can't recommend enough. Because there's a lot of lore about the Denver airport, like more than you would expect. Oh, God. Okay. And Madison goes back to their villa, and Joe is asleep, and like she wakes him up, and he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck? It's like he's like shocked that she's there. And it's like he's shocked that she was at the pool party, and he's like, that already happened? Like he blacked out.
Oh my God. What I love about this is he must have just blacked out with his mic on, because usually in these situations production has to like come in, mic everybody up before, but like I don't know.
This man went face down, face plant. Glad he didn't vomit on himself and drown in that time. And this I just thought was like such a chilling shot, because he's like looking at the camera.
Yep.
And it's like he's very actively starting to perceive like how he's being perceived. Yeah, and like what's going on. And like changing how he acts accordingly. He's like talking in the bathroom, and we can't tell if he's talking to production or if he's talking to Madison about like everything that just happened. And it's very weird, and she's like, are you talking to me? And because he's like asking the same thing like over and over again. It's like, which is why it's like, was it just alcohol? Like, I don't know. It feels like he took something beyond alcohol.
Yeah, he's in a weird spot. And the more Madison tries to be like, please stop gaslighting me into like, please stop telling me you're not acting weird. Like, because you're definitely acting weird. Poor Madison. I mean, what a canon event for a woman to have this kind of conversation with a drunk man.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
I wish she would like run to one of the other girls, like, and just like knock on their door to be like, hey, I need to talk about this. Cause like, this is just, she's alone. And like, also the fact that like, we know she has this disability where like, again, it just, I don't know. She's just like in a very vulnerable place in general. And it's just like,
yeah.
And then he said this, I almost threw something at the TV when he says, okay, woman. There is nothing that will infuriate me more than when a man is trying to put down their significant other, their sister, no matter whatever role like they play in their life, and call them woman, to like just denigrate them to that. I was just gonna say I wouldn't come back. Like you don't come back from that.
I know, like, it's an extenuating circumstance that he's this drunk, but, like, maybe it's not.
Maybe, and also, like, yeah, because, like, is he like this regularly? Also, is this, like, the true colors we're seeing of who he is? And then it's like, is that something you really want to attach yourself to long term? I don't think it. I'm gonna put words in her mouth, and I don't think it is. I just
It
don't.
should not be.
It should not be. And now we're gonna go to KB and Edmond, already sort of like going down a like these two clearly see things differently sort of conversation. Which then inevitably, then she says, "Did it bother you that we were the only couple that didn't have sex?" To which Edmond was like, I think blissfully unaware about this until she made this aware. Like, obviously,
he was, yeah.
I think like he was obviously not happy about it, but I think there was a bit of him being like, I can maybe handle this a bit longer because he was, you know, ignorance is bliss. He didn't know. And we get into this conversation about like how she only would have like what she'd sleep with people she had one night stands with and they didn't matter, but like we're engaged, I want to wait until the wedding. And she's like, 30 days is bothering you. And it's like, he's like, I just like can't wrap my head around it. And this is where I don't know, it's just like there's like not a good side on either side of this.
I don't know when they initially had this conversation that, like, she wanted to wait until marriage, but, like,
yeah,
it's just, I don't know that he would have had the same kind of response if given the same circumstances a question, like, in the pods. Like, again,
right.
they've been drinking all day, so you have to factor that in.
Totally.
But he just, I don't know, it just seemed very not what we've already seen of Edmond to me. It was very weird.
And then is sort of like explodes with Edmond.
Yeah.
And we find out he's like, I'm in it more than you, and it just hurts. And we like find out the like crux of all of this is that like I'm always the nice guy.
He's having a tantrum and crying about more than just KB. It seems like historically he feels like he's been put in the category of like too nice to date or too nice to have sex with or like too nice to commit to. I don't know. Here's my issue with that. That is baggage from the rest of your life that you're bringing into this situation with KB that, like, she didn't say that. She didn't say, like, you're too nice, I don't want to have sex with you. She said, I want to wait until we get married. Now,
and like she said, it's only 30 days. Like, again, you're getting married in 4 weeks. Yeah. I
have to say, like, I am never the kind of person who, like the thing he said earlier at the pool party where he was like, well, like, we need to, like, have sex so, like, I can see if, like, it's good before I, like, get married to this person. I think a lot of people feel this way of, like, I need to make sure, like, the sex is good or, like, it's going to be a problem. I'm just going to throw this out here. The sex can get better. Like, even if, God forbid, you wait until you get married and you have sex and it's not good, both people can work on that and you can communicate and the sex can get better. It should increasingly get better.
It makes me wonder, I'm like, has he, like, been to therapy for, like, all the stuff that clearly, like, as we've discussed, he's had a very intense childhood. And I don't know, this really, I'm left feeling very nervous about the two of them. When they were like a couple, I was so all in on them. They just felt like they really like matched each other energetically, emotionally, but like here, I really don't know. I like
KB having a therapy background and a social work background, I hope that the dynamic of their relationship is not like her therapizing him.
Correct.
I was also just thinking to myself, like, Edmond, if you had just, like, let it go and, like, let your connection continue to develop, like, it's possible that she would have changed her mind. I'm not saying, like, that should be the goal, but, like, if you had just sort of, like, respected it and, like, tried to work on connecting in other ways, exactly, like, you might have gotten what you wanted, but now I don't know if you will.
Yeah. So I don't know. Here, this is where we're leaving end of episode 6. Because also, like, there's still multiple nights in, like, Mexico where they could have...
Yes.
Things could have changed. But but that takes us to the end Episodes 1 through 6, everybody. We made it through the pods. We made it to Mexico.
Barely.
Barely by a thread. The trailer has me very intrigued. I think we have a little bit more Mexico ahead of us. And the infamous, they return to Denver and everyone sees each other in person. I'm ready for those landmines on Wednesday. Andi, what are you feeling? How are you feeling at the end of like where we're at now?
I mean, this season is already so messy. I think things are just going to deteriorate from here. I am rooting for Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan. I'm still rooting for KB and Edmond with some reservations. I don't really care what happens with Anton and Allie, unfortunately. Nick and Annie, I'm sure that they will break up at some point. I would like it to be sooner rather than later because I'm sick of hearing from that man.
Yeah.
Who else? Am I forgetting anyone?
Madison and Joe.
Oh, God. Madison, I hope she gets out sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Like, run. Please run. And I'm excited to see what happens when Patrick sees Anna in the real world. I'm really excited about that.
Very, very excited about that. But it's we're excited. Thank you so much for joining us for our recap for the first 6 episodes of Love is Blind. The new next set of episodes drop on Wednesday. So we'll be recapping those again as soon as possible. But let us know in the comments, like, what couples are you feeling? Are you team anyone or team no one? If you have, again, any videos of Casey's sister singing in Korea, link them, please, for us. We have been in Just Like Yeah. Remember to subscribe to us so you can get notified to all of our new videos dropping in. And we're on Instagram and TikTok to keep the conversation going, so you can follow us there as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you for the next episodes, everybody. Bye.